Skipping cold and flu season is Plan A. But if you do get sick, be prepared for Plan B with Kleenex lotion tissues. Kleenex lotion tissues moisturize skin, helping prevent the added discomfort of red, irritated skin on top of your cold and flu symptoms. So this cold and flu season, grab Kleenex lotion tissues. Visit Kleenex.com to learn more and buy now. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. That's get-blitz.com. Get Blitz Let's Aid is nano-infused THC syrup, and it is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off. Head to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
What's up? Oh man, it's Dominic D'Angelo of RVDTV.com, and it is one of a kind. One of a kind with who? It is with RVD. Rob Van Dam. Rob, how are you?
Yes, sir. Happy Thursday. Happy Rikishi's Thong Thursday.
Oh, what a good Thursday. Did you take the trash out?
It's time, dude. I'm going to do that in the third quarter of the show. It's too early right now. It's not dark yet here, so people could still see me. I don't want to be out on the road with the trash cans. So I'm under the smooth cover of darkness.
Right, you're like Batman.
Yeah, in my underwear.
In the underwear. Hey, well, let's not waste any time though. We got a special guest, don't we, Rob?
Yes, we do. I mean, where else can the fans in the chat room decide who's going to be the guest? Nowhere else, bro. But someone last week said, hey, you know what would be awesome? You should have the Sandman on as a guest. I said, bro, I agree. That'd be cool. So I called him up. He's available. Let's throw him on. I love this guy. It's going to be a fun talk. We always have fun. What up, Sand Boy?
Rob, what a great intro song, dude. That's like your career. I loved it. That dude must have known you well.
Yeah, is he in?
He's not in the chat yet. He usually shows up a little later, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, but wow, that song was like right on, and it was like your vibe and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Loved it.
I love it. We went to Hawaii sometime last year, and I played that song so many times over and over that when I hear it, it reminds me of that trip and just the vibes that you have in Hawaii. And it was a really good feeling, a good trip, happy vibes. And so I already loved the song. That's why I kept playing it. But now I associate it with that as well. Good mushroom trip that I was experimenting with. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I just missed the mushroom trip. So I had an ounce of really good mushroom saved for the Eagles Super Bowl, right?
Oh, shit.
So the Eagles win the Super Bowl. So I had them before we were going to take them, me and my sons, and go to the parade with like 1 million people, you know?
Right.
But it ended up raining on Wednesday, so I got screwed out of the parade in the mushrooms with my son.
Who rained on your parade?
Yes, exactly. So they had the parade Friday, but I was flying out like 8 a.m. going to like Indiana or something. I was bummed. I've been holding on to them for like 6 months, 8 months at least.
Well, I'm not like a very often mushroom eater, but do you remember that time when Big Ben brought me a big bag of mushrooms? I guess you brought some for everybody, but you ate my whole bag.
Yes. Dude, I remember his face still.
I was excited about They were in like a little plastic bag. Yeah, I can't remember if there was a quarter.
Yeah, there was probably a quarter, and I ate the whole quarter.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, dude, where's my where's my mushrooms at? Like, I was really looking for it. I've been asking him all kinds of questions, like, how many do I eat? You know, do I eat on empty stomach? And I was really looking for it. And then when I got there, the whole bag was empty.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if I left it out. I must have left it out because I know you wouldn't be going through my bag. That wasn't something that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
I must have fucking had it out on the table or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's great. That's a story I will never remember. I love it. I love that shit.
Man. Well, Sandman, Hack, how did you feel about the Eagles win the Super Bowl? I mean, that's kind of
dude, the thing with me is I'm never as happy if my team wins than I am absolutely thoroughly pissed off for 2 weeks, a month if my team loses.
Right.
If they win, I'm like, okay, we got a pretty goddamn good team. We really should be spanking Kansas City. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if we lost it right now, I'd still be bitter because it's right around the month out. You know what I mean? I'd still be bitter.
I feel you on that.
I hate losing. Although my whole career was literally, I lost 90% of my matches. Rob, I don't think I ever beat you.
Hey.
Yeah, dude, I would lose all my matches.
Dreamer too, right? Like that was part of your guys' path was almost winning.
Yeah, dude. Kevin Sullivan said to me when Kevin Sullivan, like 93, 94, was leaving to go take the book in WCW. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I'm going to put Nancy with you, kid. And there's one thing I always want you to remember. You can lose every night of the week and the promoters will love you because you'll get over more than the guy that beat you. And then I was like, I don't have to win ever. Drink a beer when I get up and everybody's freaking happy.
That's so true. That'd be kind of be weird to think about it if you like squashed everybody.
Yeah, it was freaking nothing. The only time I ever won was when I had the belt. And for the times I got the belt, somebody was leaving. Shane was going somewhere. Cactus was going somewhere. So Raven was going somewhere. And Paulie's like, because Paulie could trust me, you know what I mean? He's like, you know, I'm not going to pull a Mike Awesome on him or something like that. So he could trust me. And I think that had a lot to do with why I had the belt so many times.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Mark him if you got him, fam.
Light them on up, everybody, if you got something happening. We had a super chat already from Maddie. This is for you, Sandman Hack.
Maddie, Mr. Marijuana.
He says, please tell me Metallica and Sandman has hung out. Have you ever hung out with Metallica?
You're going to love this story. And the only reason I remember this is because Dreamer remembers it. Okay. So we're on stage somewhere with Metallica, me, Dreamer, and a couple of the other boys. And, you know, I'm 3 sheets to the wind, of course. And they started playing my song, and I started walking out on stage like the song. I don't even remember it. Dreamer reminded me of this story like a year ago. I'm like, no, Tommy, I don't think I did that. He goes, yeah, Hack, I was there.
You were on autopilot, huh?
Yeah, you know how it is, dude. Yeah. Autopilot, dude. Especially when you're overseas, you're like total autopilot.
Do you remember how your MU receptors were feeling?
No.
That's from a previous show, Hack. We had
without even knowing.
Yeah, I get
it. Well, were you a Metallica fan before you got the theme song?
No.
There
was this kid that worked for me, right? It's literally like the song just came out or whatever. Mm-hmm. This kid that worked for me, I was in the newspaper business, and this kid, he's like 18 years old. He's like, yo, Hack, you gotta listen to this song. So I was dropping him off one night. I'm like, yeah, let me listen to it. He played it. I'm like, that's my new song. I used to come out The Big Shot by Billy Joel.
Oh,
you want to be a big shot, didn't you? You had to open up your mouth. But then I heard that Sandman. I heard that Sandman song, and I'm like, boom,
hell yeah!
That's what happened. My entrance and everything.
Man. Yeah, that's happened to me too with ECW with my song "Walk." I heard it on the radio. I was like, "Fuck, this is me! I got it."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And, Rob, I didn't. So you picked your song?
Yeah. Well, so when I first showed up with ECW, I brought and I'm not musically inclined. I always, that everyone says, but I brought what I was using in IWF with Eddie Mansfield at Universal Studios forever ago. And it's Joe Satriani, and the song is called Lords of Karma. And it sounds kind of James Bondish is I think a fair way to put the music. And I was the first couple matches in ECW, I was coming out to that, and I felt like, man, I don't know if that fits here, because it's like, I don't know, it's not pipes, but it's like I said, like James Bond, and it's and then everything. When I first started in ECW, it was January '96. I associate that with the first time I ever saw like the whole grunge society. First time I'd heard like that music, White Zombie and Pantera, and all of that was all brand new to me. And yeah, I heard on the radio Pantera was opening for White Zombie on tour, and I heard it on the radio, and I heard Walk, and I had the Respect match with Sabu, and they were saying Respect, Walk, right? And it was like, hey, we have a Respect thing going on right now, and this is perfect for ECW, the energy. And I thought, that Paul would be like, oh my God, this is perfect. But instead he was just like, are you sure? Because I don't want to change it like a whole bunch of times. Like, if you want to change it once, that's fine. I don't want to change it every week. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, like you just knew it like I knew it.
Same
Knew it.
thing. Yep.
You just get the instinct for it, and it's that's great, man. And two iconic songs for you guys too.
Right, but Sandman and I are spiritual brothers too. Like you might not know that, but a lot of times over the years we got together and talked about synchronicities and just the vibrations of life. And
Hey, Rob changed my life.
Yeah,
Literally, dude. And in the beginning, younger through my years, probably up until like 32 or whatever, until I started till me, Rob became friends through Fonzie, Sabu, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I was an energy robber. I would come in the room and I would rob everybody's energy. And Rob was like, yo, dude, you don't have to be like that, dude. You know what I mean? And he changed it. I bought the book, The Secret, because of him. You know what I mean? And then he changed my life, dude.
That book's a life changer. It really makes you look at things from a different perspective.
I try and tell people what it's like, because people ask me about, like, I get asked about like Sabu. I never get asked about what's it like being around Bubba or Dreamer, but I get asked a lot about Sabu and RVD. And when it comes to RVD, I'm like, it's hard to explain, but when you get into his like 10-foot radius around them, you're in, and you're just relaxed. Oh, dude, I'm getting goosebumps right here. And it's like it's like boom, you know what I mean? It's like Matt Stryker's kind of like that too, you know what I'm saying? And you're just and your energy level goes up, but your excitement level goes down. It's kind of weird, like, to even think about it like that, you know?
Yeah.
You're just glad to be in his aura. I mean, that's how I can explain it.
Rob's a good vibe. You're a good vibe for sure.
Yeah, it's all about balance. It's all about balance.
Nash said the same thing. Kevin Nash said the same thing on his podcast too, even before you were the guest on there, Rob.
Is that right?
Yeah, he did. He's like, Rob,
everybody knows, everybody feels it. You know what I mean? It's a real freaking thing. I know, but it's something that you can't grasp your hand and like hold it in your hand or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just a thing.
It's an aura, man.
It is. It's just a great thing.
Yeah, we became energy brothers way back in like not in ECW, I don't think so, but in WWE, I think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was still an energy robber in ECW.
Were you?
But we were. Yeah, and I look at myself, I think I was an asshole prick back then. You know, my head was up my ass. I was thinking just about me and didn't really know how to open up and love and receive love. And it was just, I don't like that version of me, but that's part of growing, is you're always looking back at a lesser version of you. that's a good thing because you're growing from it. But when I look back at them, sometimes I think like, why do people like me? I don't think I like me. That sometimes
I say that all the time. My kids tell me that all the time too.
Yeah.
I think
Judging by today's standards, I guess I did what I could back then, But do you remember one time? Do you remember when? Okay, Sabu and I. Well, he had his Winnebago, and I think it was outside the Holiday Inn in Philly. You already know where I'm going. But this was in the Soma days. We had the muscle relaxer Somas, and this is where we invented the Winnebago crawl because we were trying to go to the pool, and Sabu and I were walking along the wall or the Winnebago like that, and then obviously, as you could guess, when we reached the end of it, it was like, 2 face bumps.
All right, Rob, just so you know, that wasn't the only town. I remember the exact same thing in Pittsburgh. Saying.
But the one time I'm thinking of, though, I woke up laying on the ground with a note on my chest because everyone had gone to the arena in Philly and they left me there sleeping right where I fell. And there was a note that said, Sandman's still here in room 110. He's the only one. So I had to go to his room to get a ride with him because he hadn't left because he stayed back to drink and everyone else wanted to get there.
I remember that story. That's I forgot it, but now I remember.
Yeah, now I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but those two doing the Soma walk was just, and it was kind of like me, like then I would just use them for plane flights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a 2-hour plane flight. I'll chew up 4 of these things, eat a little bit of a candy bar, wake up when I hit the ground, boom, feeling great. That's how I would use these things. I would never drink. Well, Sabu and Van Dam weren't really drinkers back then at all. So they were getting their high from the Somas, you know what I mean? But I knew you couldn't mix the alcohol and the Somas because that's bad shit. I mean, how many of us have died doing that?
Yeah, once that took the fun right out of it for me. Once Louis died, because me, Louis, and Sabu, the 3 of us would hang out, and it was competitive. We talked about this last week, but it was competitive. We would, be trying to get the shaky puddings first before the other guy, And Pee Wee would check our hands, the referee, to see if we were shaking yet or not. We'd eat some more, he'd say, nope, you're good. We'd eat some more coconut pie, try again.
Yeah, but you can sell it, though.
Yeah, true, but I guess we didn't. Because we wanted to be there. We wanted to, come on. We wanted to be
there. But that's crazy. And it's like the guys that are like the most flippiest and shit in the ring are the guys that want to be so not in control of their body.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was so aware of that. I knew that I was in. Am I screaming? I feel like I'm screaming.
You're good.
I knew way back then, wow, I'm being fascinated by walking the top rope like a tightrope walker at 9 p.m. And then by 11 p.m., not being able to actually pick up my glass of water off the table and make it to my mouth. I was I'm actually entertaining myself by being so out of control, like you just said that. So that's amazing because I was really conscious of it. And didn't know if it was good or bad, but I knew that's what it was about for me. This is so different. Yeah.
Man, jeez.
Yeah, but once didn't you quit that day when Louis passed away?
Yep. Yeah, we were on a trip to England. Yeah, we were on a trip to England.
That takes a lot of balls, Rob.
Right, yeah.
It really does. All right, you're getting hit with it. And Louis was one of the first ones that went, you know what I mean? And then the next decade, there was another 30 or whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting hit in the head on one end, but some guys get it and some guys don't. You know what I mean? You got it. Somebody else didn't get it.
Yeah.
Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, Blue Chew is offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off. Bam! You'll have to move towns with the amount of noise you'll be making. Blue Chew Max has arrived, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable tablet. This combo acts fast and lasts. Guys, be ready when she needs it and get your first month of Blue Chew free. Great sex is a few clicks away. Sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the US of A and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use promo code RVD. Just pay $5 shipping. That's promo code RVD. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Sabu and I were in England for Dirt Bike Kid, and we got the news, and we had, like, we each ate 5 that we had in our pocket and said, here's a toast to Louis, which was stupid. But then after that, I found like 5 more, and I was like, well, these are the real last ones. And my evil ex, she was with me. She looked at me like she hated me, which she often looked at me like that. But this one made me hate me too. She's like, are you seriously going to swallow those when one of your best friends just died from them? And I was like, am I seriously going to swallow this? So I just flushed them down the toilet. But one thing that sticks out in my mind, I wasn't ready for humor yet. And that time in Philly in the ring when all of us ECW wrestlers got in the ring to ring the bell for Louis. Remember that? I remember telling Gertner, get in the ring, get in here, because he knew like he would get heat if he just assumed he was one of the boys. He didn't want to cross.
No matter what Gertner did back in them days, he was getting heat because he was just a missile.
But at the same time, he was so good, I feel like, at knowing his place. Like, he was going to get heat anyway. But he went way out of his way to try not to, I feel like,
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, I remember Raven at that time. I was so hurt. I was like bawling. I think that's when I really started realizing that I was more depressed than everyone else. I feel like I was the only one crying. And I feel like I was just like so hurt. I couldn't believe like Louis not going to be around anymore. And anyway, I remember Raven said something when we were on the ring, like, something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, of Louis fucked up, so now we're all going to be punished and have to get tested on.
That's Scotty for you, totally. We're going to have to get tested, okay?
Something
Paul.
like that, or we're yeah. And I was just like,
Scotty.
Oh my god, what a disrespectful thing to say! Like, it floored me. I wasn't sure how to react. Like, should I say something like, like something, in defense of Louis?
Say nothing.
No, now I get it. Now I'm like, yeah, I not inappropriate for our
it's
world.
the truth, but it's kind of if you're with Vince, or maybe he was talking about guys with Vince or whatever back then. But there was no way Paul was testing.
No,
and
right.
RVD, yeah. I had assumed this whole time, like this whole 30 years, that I thought Louis came in because of you. Was that true?
No, Sabu brought him in. Sabu brought him in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sabu felt like he owed him a job because he got him fired in FMW from Japan.
Oh, okay. But I see Louis on a pay-per-view. He was like Madonna's boyfriend or something.
Yeah, in Mexico.
California pay-per-view.
Yeah, with the AAA pay-per-view.
Oh.
Eddie Guerrero in our bar. First time that all of us got introduced to Lucha Libre. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot all about our bar.
Yeah.
On that.
Wow. He was on the bus, and on the bus in Japan, you don't want to get heat, especially if you don't have leverage to tell him to stop because you got to pee. You got to, and it was one of those things. And Louis peed in the bottle like a lot of wrestlers do. And Sabu thought it was funny to tell the bus driver, like, oh, he peed in that bottle. He peed in that bottle. And, that's Sabu's sense of humor, but they didn't think it was funny at all. They ended up firing him from it.
Seriously? Because he pissed in the bottle?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way Sabu's always told me the story. So Sabu's always was trying to get him booked everywhere. A lot of times he'd bring him in. Sabu would take a booking, and then he would pay Louis. He'd say, I'll pay him as long as you guys can use him. Same thing with Pee Wee as the referee.
Oh, wow.
Sabu was way
Sabu would be the most generous person in the business I ever met.
Overly generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Man, that's
Day one.
Hey, Rob, what company were you for then? Were you working with then when Sabu said the pee in the bottle thing? You remember what company that was?
That I wasn't with them. That was FMW.
Okay. You weren't there, but you know the story.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, FMW also.
Yeah, and I was with All Japan then, but that's what happened. Louis was the worst of us. He would eat 100 somas in a night. And then I got to where I would eat 35. That was like my high amount in a day, and Sabu was somewhere in between us. And I always felt that was my safety gauge. So when Louis died, Andy was the closest person to me to have died at that time. Like my grandma died, but I hardly ever saw her. And this was like someone that had come to my house. And anyway, wow, it affected me so bad. But also, Sandboy, what worth mentioning, I think, is that I was fucked up in the head, and I was thinking, oh my God, I got to quit drugs now. I got myself addicted to drugs. I've been taking them so long recklessly. I'm gonna have to probably go to rehab and learn how to live without it and all this. And I remember talking to my dad. I was just in the car, in a rent-a-car on the road somewhere on the. Did we have cell phones? I don't know. But anyway, he said...
we're right on the verge of cell phones right then, 95, 96.
Yeah, because I feel like I was talking to him in the car, over the phone. He wasn't there, but weird. But anyway, yeah, he said something that I hadn't even considered when I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to have to go to rehab. I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I got myself here. And my dad said, well, have you tried to quit? And I was like, No, but I mean,
it's obvious. You could get.
I think a lot of people don't consider that.
No, they do. Like you think you're in the thick of it all, and
that's why I like to make this point. That's why
I can always wind my way down from drugs.
That's why the doctor wants me to know my MU receptors aren't any different than the good doctor. Somebody that wrote in a couple of weeks ago.
Some job wrote in a couple of weeks ago. And
I was like, Dad, you don't understand. Like I've been taking like pain pills and muscle relaxers with Valiums or whatever someone hands me, like several days a week for a long time. And he was like, well, but if you don't want to do it, it might be that easy. You might not be addicted. And I don't think people ever consider that. Not enough people anyway. And he was right. It was that easy. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to take it. So boom, I quit taking it. You were saying you were giving me credit for not taking somas anymore after Louis, but my dad had to first say, you might be able to do that on your own. And a lot of people, because of the victim gene, right? But a lot of people will convince themselves they're addicted to everything from soap operas to, to a good time. And a lot of them are, but a lot of them might not be. So I like to thinking outside the box like I do, being the one of a kind nonconformist that I am. That's my view. It's my real life. So I know it is possible for some people. You might be way the fuck stronger than you ever thought you were.
Oh, no, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, 100%. Hack, here's a question for you. This is for both of you guys, actually. And maybe you guys have a different take. When did ECW start losing its fun factor? Thanks, Frankie, for the $5 he's asking.
I'll be real quick. To me, it never lost its fun factor.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking too. Same answer.
We know we're going out of business, but that doesn't mean we're still not a fucking collective family in the locker room.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was a little less fun when I realized, the longer I keep working, although I was getting paid per my contract for wrestling and stuff, I wasn't getting paid some of it, like merchandise, pay-per-view bonuses. And so I knew the longer, why am I screaming? I fucking feel like I'm pushing out. Like,
smoke some more of that joint.
Yeah, you're good, Rob.
Relax, everybody. All right. But, I did feel like as I was digging a deeper and deeper hole, the more I was having that fun, that kind of, set the energy against it to help balance it out some, which is why ultimately we had to go, we were all done. But Fun to the end, though, for sure.
Man, yeah, no doubt.
And we're still alive, Rob.
That's it.
And we're still alive.
No
Think about
shit.
it like
Yeah.
that.
Hey, did you read Todd Gordon's book?
Yeah, I read it in freaking 2 days.
Okay. Is it pretty accurate?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't say how accurate it is because I don't remember shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? But honestly, RVD, the stories that I know between Todd, Paulie, and Paulie's mom would blow your freaking mind.
Okay.
Todd gave this guy like 5 days of stories, and he used like 5 of them. There's 5 other chapters if the guy wanted to write them. You know what I mean? You have no idea the shit that I know about that family.
Sean Oliver.
The whole time Todd was talking to Paul's mom, freaking the whole time, even up to like 2-3 years after those two broke up.
Wow.
He still knew everything.
About what? What's he talking to his mom
Everything about money that he used for his family's money, where he really embezzled the company from Todd Gordon. All right, let me tell you what embezzlement is. Embezzlement is if I'm a partner with you and we're in this wrestling company, right? And we're 50-50, even if we're 75-35, I want to buy you out, but I tell you there's another investor. So, but there was never another investor. The investor was Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he did to Todd Gordon, which is illegal.
Oh.
And he used his dad's money, like $2.5 million of it.
Holy smokes.
His dad's whole fucking, his dad was a big shot lawyer or whatever, but apparently Paulie spent all the money.
Wow, that's wild.
I mean, like he ain't made it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's made it back 100-fold probably, but not the point. Little things. I'll give you a little quick one. Paul's mom wants to leave the house, right? Mm-hmm. So, but Paul's car is parked behind hers, so she can't leave. Paul tells her a story that, Dreamer has the keys to the car. I can't move it. So she goes up and out. Did you call Dreamer? Another hour. So like 4 or 5 hours. Then she ends up telling Todd this freaking story. Todd tells her basically something like, are you sure the keys aren't in the car? She goes out and the keys are in the car. He wouldn't get out of bed to move the car for his mom.
Oh my
like
God.
4 or 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. That's just brutal.
Yeah.
It's just. But the guy's the most brilliant dude in professional wrestling probably there ever is. I mean, it's got to be like him and Vince, right?
Him and who?
Vince.
Oh.
Man, yeah.
Do you, Rob? Is Paul the best booker ever?
He maybe that I've worked with. He's my favorite that I've worked with for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but to me, there could be guys like a couple Japanese bookers, but I don't. I just know of them. I don't know, like, wasn't watching it or whatever, but. Bill Watts at his time had his hand on the pulse of pro wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And changing it a little then, you know what I mean? So there is other guys, but Paul, he was the one that made Jim Cornette, I think, was brilliant.
Yeah, he's another one.
Jerry Lawler, brilliant. I mean, how many dudes is Jerry Lawler? He trained me, dude.
Rob Black.
Who's Rob Black? Who's Rob Black?
Yo.
Freaking funny, man. Oh, wow. Somebody was just telling me a story about him. Who was his? Meanie was married to her.
Oh, yeah. Jasmine.
Yeah, I was doing a signing with her in L.A., which I'm never going back to L.A. I can't do it anymore. My body can't get out of that airplane seat once I get there. It just hurts too much. Yeah, I'm done with LA forever. But I was sitting with her for a couple hours, and she was telling me that like how down the tubes he ended up going. Like he had a show like that was supposed to a couple of weeks before that, and nobody showed up, nobody got paid. So apparently,
Sounds like someone we know.
Somebody we know.
Bad business, Bobby Fulton.
All right.
He's a friend of the shows.
Big
All right, well, listen to this. I can't believe I didn't remember the story until right before the show countdown. I went and took a piss. And I'm like, I know they're going to talk about fucking Dylan or whatever. Wow, what do you call him?
Dildo.
Yeah, dildo. Okay, this is just straight freaking shoot. So right out of freaking like COVID, right? I go, the guy Chris. You know who Chris is, Rob? You seen him? He's a big freaking dude, NFL player that takes care of me and Shane and shit like that.
Not Moose though. Not Moose.
Yeah,
right?
Moose.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Moose.
Right.
So he has me go to like West Virginia or whatever, wherever Bobby Fulton's show was, and it was outside in a parking lot of like a steakhouse or something like that.
Okay.
So Chris is talking to me about what I'm going to do, right? And you know me, nobody bumps me, nobody touches me. I go in there, whack, whack, whack. So Chris says, all right, we got the guy that you're going to cane. I don't know he's Bobby Fulton's son. I know nothing about him. I said, well, where is he? And Chris grabs him and pulls him over. I look at the kid. Before the kid even got near us, I said, Chris, I got to go talk to you. I said, Chris, if I cane this kid, I will be trending on the internet because I just caned a retard in the ring. Swear to God,
some people might look at it that way.
I refused to cane him because I thought the kid was Down syndrome or something. He totally looks it.
He'll tell you he's not. Anyone else that looks at him, of course, would think that.
Well, there's a lot of round heads around there anyway, where he's from, but yeah, I refused to cane him because I honestly thought they were going to think that I was caning a retard in the ring, and I didn't do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then it just turned out that the kid is retarded. And it's great that I'm allowed to say the word retarded now because Donald Trump says I'm allowed to say retarded. You know what I'm saying? I got none of this LBGTQ shit. Yo, it's retardation. That's what it is.
It wouldn't look good. And it also wouldn't look good to beat up or to slap Bad Business Bobby because he looks like the corpse of a scarecrow. But at the same time, you know, it might be worth it. Give me a little smack.
Might be picking a hand.
Well, that's the kid doing that.
Yeah. Well, I have the kid smack daddy. I'll do that then. That way we don't have to get our hands dirty.
That's it. Frankie asked another question to you, Hack. Do you have a good travel lodge story? We've been talking about the travel lodge a couple times.
Seriously, I got like 8 million of them. Yeah. All right, since all right, let's talk about this. Let's bring up New Jack. How great is it that New Jack's going to be on the 2025 game?
That's right.
Dude, what's he going to do? Go into the ring and like slice the ref's neck like right away to start the match? Or like fork the referee to open up the match?
Yeah.
But I love it because the guy Khan, whatever his name is, I get the two different from the
Big
one that
Khan,
was AEW to the other one. Yeah, but the one guy likes New Jack. So
Yeah.
I hope his family's getting paid. But I'm sure somebody's getting paid from out of his family, so that's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so all right, I'll give you a quick one. So there was a fight one night. We're on the 16th floor because I stayed on the 16th floor. I stayed in. Todd was in 1600. I was in 1601. Scorpio, and then Fonzie. We all got the same 4 rooms. They all connected because we were literally rolling with an ounce of blow every weekend. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but nobody knew it because we just kept our shit tight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So there's a fight out in the outside, and of course it's New Jack. He had just left my room, and so there's a big fight in the hallway, and the hotel's round. So if you start at the elevators and you just keep walking left to right, you come back all the way to the elevators.
Yeah.
So there's big hell below, security's up there. So New Jack's like, fuck this. They're stopping him from going forward. He's like, I'm just going to go around the back. And then he attacked the kid from behind and beat the shit out of him.
That's
But
crazy.
he was the only one smart enough to realize that.
I'll just go around the bend.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another 1,000 of them, dude. All right, I'll give you another one.
Okay.
So me and Guido, we're going to take our flights home Sunday morning, right? And I got so much. I don't want to because I got to get back to Utah because I just moved there. I started a concrete company. Dude, come Monday morning, I got to have my shit together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got like freaking like a gram or so on me, a gram of coke on me. And we're waiting for the shuttle to go to the airport. I said, Guido, watch this. I grabbed it and I went right over. When you walked in the front doors on the left-hand side, there was like a big square marble box with a plant in it and all these rocks underneath there.
Yeah.
I picked up one of the rocks, threw the gram under there, fucking put the rock back, and fucking the next time we there, I waited till I was with Guido and said, look at this bitch.
It was there.
Yes, of course it was. Who's going to look underneath rocks in the freaking in the foyer of a hotel?
Yeah.
Another time. Freaking we're in 1600 the room, and we're sitting there, and I'm just like, and something just popped in my head. So it's me, Scorpio, Fonzie, and Todd.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, you won't believe this, but over in the back left corner, I had put like 3-4 grams of coke because I didn't want to take it with me. I went over into the corner. I picked up the rug, pulled the fucking coke out. They popped huge.
That's awesome.
I would hide that shit everywhere because you knew you were always coming back to the same spot.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take it to Utah with me. What the hell? It's not going to do me any good there.
I don't think the Mormons are snorting coke or at least not in the open like that.
Yeah, we had a building with TNA when we were at Universal Studios, and we stayed at the Doubletree Hilton every single time. We had like the push-up.
Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the Jeremy Borash and Abyss smarten me up to it. But in the vending room, you had push-up tiles in the ceiling so you could hide shit up there. And they had like a bong or something.
Because you're back there all the time.
Yeah, like every other week. When I first went there in 2010, it was every 2 weeks, the same place. And
that's fucking lovely.
Yeah, it was. That was
that the one where you wrestled? It was like literally right next to all the rides and shit like that.
Yep.
They were like right outside the building. Okay.
Yeah.
Universal Studios, right? It was a Universal Studios.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. People always want me to compare the big three companies that I worked for. And I always say ECW was the most fun, and TNA was the easiest, the least amount of work for the money, best deal that way. And then WWE, of course, was the most money and the
less
biggest to really put you out there to the world.
Dude, that's what killed me in the business when we went, because we know each time that we're there. I was there when Sabu jumped off the Raw sign, which was like early in the 90s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we get up into 96, 97. And it's not going to be what we think it's going to be or whatever like that. Dude, sorry, I forgot where I was going.
We're talking about he was talking about Universal Studios and like how it was just a different vibe. The most fun.
Oh yeah, that's where I was going, dude. I love the business until I had to go deal with WWE.
Yeah,
dude, I love the business. Freaking, I lived it. Freaking 24/7, dude. A week there, I'm ready to kill myself. Dude, if I didn't have a couple of my boys with me, see, you got to understand something. Freaking, there's guys when we come in, they know their job's on the line right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not all kumbaya and everything like that. You know what I mean? Me and Sabu, we would find a stairwell. Swear to God, we would find a stairwell to go dress under. The locker rooms, since the boys got screwed up so many of the professional teams' locker rooms, there's other locker rooms that they use. Dude, there's 100 guys on there, and when you're on Raw, there's 100 dudes that they fly in for that show. I've counted them. Pay-per-views, 120 dudes are there, and they're using like 30 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so you just hate you. I can't be in that locker room stepping all over this and shit like that, and everybody's lying to you. You can't believe a word anybody's saying. Yeah. So then I find. So then after Rob, dude, it hurt us. It hurt us a lot, like the ECW. Well, maybe not hurt us a lot, but it made shit go faster when Rob and Sabu got the marijuana shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That put a fucking bump in our fucking road. You know what I mean? I don't think our road was that much further after that anyway. But yes, that was a big fucking speed bump that we had to get over. Next thing you know, show's got the belt. I'm wrestling the show fucking in the main event like the next weekend and shit. And so once that happened, and fucking and then they moved me to Raw. So here, I'll tell you the story. So Mark Carano calls me. Here, back this one up. Back when they wanted us in the early 2000s, Mark Carano called me and said, I'm from, because you have to have the same phone number. I've had the same phone number since 1994. You can't change it in this business. You know what I mean? Right. Mark Carano called me and he says, WWE wants me. I'm like, dude, I don't know who the fuck you are. Hung up on him again. Hung up on him. He calls me right back. And fucking, he's like, no, Sandman. I work for fucking Vince. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, okay. I got to talk to somebody. I called Dreamer, and Dreamer's like, yeah.
Fuck Carano.
What? So I was shocked. So they go into the story. So all that shit, the pot smoking shit happens with Robin and Sabu, and that hurt us some. So right then,
pot carrying.
Whatever it was. But then the next thing I know, Carano calls me and he goes, you've been traded to Raw. I'm like, dude, I don't know who the fuck you are, but I don't know what traded even is. Hung up on him. He calls me back. He goes, Hack, you've been traded. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I've been traded? I didn't know that they did this like draft thing. Or he said I've been drafted, not traded.
Did they close ECW?
I didn't even know it happened. And he's like, no, they won't show Raw tomorrow.
Was that when ECW was folded or before that?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, it lasted for a few more years.
Yeah, but I don't know about that long, but freaking, they moved me to Raw, and then literally my first night in Raw. This is such a great tool bag story. No, there's a thing called live. There's a thing called live. You know what I mean, Rob? And so ECW, we're on our other channel, whatever the channel is, freaking But what's his name comes up to me, The Miz. The Miz comes up to me, and this is freaking hilarious. He goes, yo, you nervous? I'm like, for what? He goes, you know you're going to be live tonight. I'm like, I go, dude, I'm live every time I go to the ring, and walked away from him. He was just trying to fuck with me, you know what I mean? Because
I got this kid.
Yeah, it's like a joke. It was like, here, welcome to Raw. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then, it was horrifying after that. So bad.
Jeez. You were shaking.
Hack, what did Vince think of you, Hack, when working with you and stuff like that?
I don't know. I told him to fucking for less than 60 seconds the whole time I was there.
Yeah, that was it.
And all of it was on live camera. The only thing he ever said to me off camera was, because I was yelling on my promos. I get done a promo where Carlito spits an apple in my face because I was doing an angle with him.
Rude.
I spit beer in his face, and then Ron Simmons comes in and goes, "Damn!" So right after that, I'm walking away, and Vince goes, "You don't have to yell; they'll listen to you." That's the only person.
That's it.
Really said to me.
Wow. Okay. Man, that's wild.
You know, it's funny. Heck, last week I had Mike Chioda on, and
love him.
Yeah, me too. And I started doing his voice not on, nothing planned, but I was just fucking around with them. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, wow, I said, I think my Kyoto and my Sandman voice might be the same voice. And he said, okay, let me tell you. And he said they used to get him in trouble all the time, screaming in the hallways and shit. And people would just assume it's him, call his room, keep it down. That's funny. Did the same guy
he's got a little bit nuts though in him. He went a little bit crazy in a hallway. We were in South Africa, dude. I swear to God, fucking, I went into my room. There was so many mirrors, and the room was so big, I couldn't find my way around. I mean, you're in the nicest hotel in South Africa. This thing's like 4,000 square feet, like 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Dude, I got lost in there. Me and Kyoto, we were in there drinking. I don't know. We go out to go to the bar. We come back. He fucking grabbed the painting off the wall and fucking threw it. Literally. Grabbed the painting off the wall and had to rip it off the wall. It wasn't just like hanging on like a little piece of wire, dude. He was like...
You said Mike did?
Mike.
I got fired after that tour.
Wait, Kyoto did that?
Yeah, he ripped the painting off
from
the
your
wall.
room?
No, it was right outside my room.
Damn. That doesn't sound like him.
No, I know, but he was fired up, dude. He had just bought his house in Houston back then. He was telling me because we before he moved to Houston, me and him would fly on planes to go to Monday Night Raw. And that's how I got to be friends with him.
How about that? Wow.
Are you saying that's why you got fired was because of him?
Oh, no, not at all. Okay. That was my fault. I yelled at Jimmy Snuka. Yeah. I was like,
really?
Yeah, but dude. But before this was where I assume this is like right after SummerSlam because right before SummerSlam, Johnny calls me into his office and he goes, "You can't drink the beer anymore."
What?
And I'm like, "What?" And I'm pissed. I'm like, "Johnny, how about you give me my release?" He's like, "Hack, wait." Oh, and I got 2 raises, or at least 1 raise out of him by asking for my release. But it was up to like 125 to 150,000. But then I find out he's telling me I gotta stop drinking. Next thing I know, Austin's in the fucking main event for WrestleMania for SummerSlam. So they're taking the beer away from me, so I can't do it on my entrance.
Yeah,
I was
of course
freaking pissed.
That's fucked up.
That was your shit,
right?
Yeah, I was hot, and I hated it there, dude. I had no friends. It was soul sucking. Yeah. It honestly was soul sucking to me. I hated to get on a plane. I hated to go there. I hated to be in the locker room. I couldn't wait to get out of the fucking building.
Man,
were you? Right. And another thing is, dude, I hated it so much. Everybody goes on TV and they want to get as much time as they can. They had to tell me to stop going home early. I was going in there and giving them 5 minutes to go, and then finally, Michael, who's Dunn? It was Dunn, the guy in the big control room.
Yeah, Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, Kevin Dunn sends it down to maybe Kyoto. Kyoto goes, Dunn says, "Do not go home early." I went home early every single match. Never took the time that I was allowed. And another thing I learned, my very first time, after you come out of the ring, you go up the ramp, right? And when you go through the ramp, Vince is sitting right there.
Right.
Well, I went through that one time. There was Vince sitting there and my agent sitting there, like maybe within 10, 15 feet of coming through the curtain. And the agent's trying. Vince liked what I did, and the agent, and it was Steamboat.
Steamboat.
I think it was Steamboat. And Steamboat's trying to like take credit. I didn't do a thing he said to do as my agent. You know what I mean? So I did that once. Every other match, I always had my out. I would scoot to the right-hand side of the ramp and go in underneath and never have to go up the ramp and meet Vince and my agent again.
Yo, Rob, we're going to take a quick time out just to say that this week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. Get Blitzed Lit Aid Nano-Infused THC Syrup is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And that advanced nanotechnology formulation allows for quicker onset and enhanced potency compared to regular THC syrup. It's Delta-9 and legal legal in all 50 states, every single one. And you have several syrups to choose from blue raz to key lime pie to pina colada to tiger's blood to cherry to grape. Just head to get-blitz.com, use promo code RVD, and get 15% off your whole order. Could be a bottle, could be a bundle, your choice. But yes, head to get-blitz.com, use promo code RVD, and it is by Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney. Take a look. Head to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, get 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
How about that? So you just
I did it. I'm like, nope. I ain't letting anybody take credit for something that I do again, right to my face.
Like I did that shit.
No,
it's weird.
What's his name? Fucking. And then I didn't like Steamboat as my agent. I went into Johnny's office. I said, Johnny, I don't like Steamboat as my agent. He goes, okay, I'll be your agent for the rest of the time.
Johnny was.
Johnny is my agent.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah, it was. Well, I think I got Johnny's respect because when we did the one night stand or whatever, and it was me and Dreamer against Bubba and Devon, and we had like literally 15 run-ins because Tommy wanted to get everybody else in and out of there, and we're going to put it all together. And when we're putting it together, Johnny's sitting there. Johnny didn't say a word, and we're putting it together for like an hour. You know, the first time you get together when there's all those running, it's an easy hour. Then everybody will get back together again. A little group over here. Yes, I'm right after you. Where are you going to be when I go out and all that? And I got to remember all this. But I was more concerned about the time. So I made sure that everybody's running. I would say to everybody, all right, Tommy, Bubba, how long is this running going to last? Is this 45 minutes or is this a minute and a half? And then we would dial it down, and then Johnny would write it over there. So yeah. I got his respect, I think, there.
Oh,
but then my son beat the shit out of John Cena with a cane. My son Oliver was there, and he had the cane or whatever. And John Cena's fucked with him a little bit. So he hit John Cena. John starts running, and he's running after him in the back with the cane. It's hilarious.
Wow.
Freaking hilarious.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I had I was just wanting to mention it was weird, and it's not so much, doesn't feel like this anymore, but it was like the agents had pressure to try to validate their job, and so they, like Ricky, obviously you would think, he'd be like a super cool, genuine dude, but I even had like an issue with him that I don't hold against him anymore, but when I was in that competitive state of mind, I kind of was hot at him for a minute because, and I'll just let you decide instead of using any adjectives how I felt about him at the time. But I'm wrestling someone, I think Shelton Benjamin, and it was just an idea that I hadn't tried before for that night, which was to just, be shot into the ropes like he's going for a drop kick or something, and I catch the rope, right? Boom. And I shake it off, and like boom, he goes down. I take off and hit the ropes, do a rolling thunder, boom, and hit him. And then we're both selling up, to start a comeback, right? Boom, boom, boom. So I did it, right? Boom. Just like that. Afterwards, Ricky said, Rob, he said, I've noticed, I've noticed lately, you like to put the rolling thunder in at the end of your cell, and it doesn't really fit there because you're like selling so much, and that's like a really big move to do. And I said, well, Ricky, you just told me that you haven't been watching any of my matches. If you said you've noticed that, lately, because tonight's the first time that I did that. And I get it if you didn't get it, but if you'd come up and tell me like you've been watching me, noticed that lately, or however he put it. But I was hot, and disappointed, but I learned that's, the pressure that the guy that they're under, they feel like they want to find targets, One time, Terry Taylor wanted to make me a target, and I think we talked about this.
Oh yeah. Did you see Rob?
Yeah.
The best agent when I was back there was freaking Skinner. Who played
Yeah.
Skinner? Dude, he'd be like, Hack, I ain't gonna tell you what to do out there. Just go do it. He was great. That's how it was.
Arn would say the exact same thing to me.
Yeah.
I felt bad one time because we were in Italy or something, and me and Sabu were outside of the dressing room, outside of the arena, like outside literally. We were smoking a doobie, and Steve came around the corner and saw us. And I just thought, because it was his job to be an agent, I thought he was obligated to tell the office that he saw us do that. And so the way I expressed, the way I thought the facts were, he didn't appreciate, because I just said something like, yeah, I get it. I put you in a bad spot because you got a stooge. It's your job. And he was just like, he was so upset after me. Like for a long time, I was like, hey, let me tell you something. I'm in this business so many years. I have never been a stooge. No. I just meant, I thought it was your job to stooge. Hey, he was offended, and I couldn't get him to really get my point of view. And I always felt bad because I had a lot of respect for him.
Steve Kern, that's right. Skinner.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve Kern. Cool, man.
No, but I get the story that you were just saying and who you were talking about. I get that totally.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was your job, and you had to stooge, and I put you in a bad spot because you walked out there, and else he was hearing was stooge. I have never been a stooge. No one has accused me of stooging. Let me tell you something. I hate stooges. Like, for you, I take that as an insult. I'm like, whoa.
Oh, dude, you should have seen me one time. This was probably right before COVID. It was me, Steve Lombardi, and the girl who carries around a little dog with her, and Lita.
Oh, Lita.
Okay. So we're in a car and we're just talking and bullshit, you know what I mean? And something comes up, and I literally, Rob knows how I am. I'm like, so Steve, tell us what was going on then. We know you were the biggest. Oh, he had just gotten fired. And he brought up that he just got fired.
Lombardi?
Like, dude, 35 years of being a stooge and crack the fuck up. He laughed too because it's ribbon on a square.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? But he did like
job.
35 years of fucking. I think he was the dude that would go out and get Vince's dinner every night from whatever great restaurant there was in the area or whatever.
Him and Bruno seemed to do everything.
Oh
yeah, literally.
Downtown Bruno, and then they were like inseparable, and they seemed to be like, whatever you need done,
Yeah, who knows what was being done to them?
Yeah.
Okay, we got some super chats here.
All right, let's hear it.
Thanks for the $10, Garrett. Can you describe what the OG ECW arenas were like? I heard crazy stories of people freely bringing in drugs / booze to use, and weapons like rebars stuck into concrete to the wrestlers to use.
That was just the wrestlers doing that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea how many. Dude, we would smoke pot. Like the way the dressing room was, there was this one big room and then some stairs to another little balcony that wasn't so huge. But before you got there, there's this big old warehouse right there that we would just go back and blow joints, smoking right there and everything. So there's so many lines going through that. Well, I'm easy because I would just pour the shit in my hand and go, yes. Jimmy Superfly Snuka showed me that the first time I ever worked with him. He did an 8-ball in one snort. Had fucking white all over his face. Yeah, I worked him like my first 2 months in the business. He's like, yeah, brother. Can I get the shit? Had the shit, just poured the whole fucking 8-ball in his fucking head.
Jeez.
What exactly is this question? Like what it was like?
Like describe the OG ECW arenas. I guess the atmosphere, there are any crazy stories and stuff like that when it comes to Rob, you always talk about Jim Thorpe, PA, how fucking shitty that arena was and everything. I remember.
Wait, hold on. Let's answer this guy's question. Dude, yes, there'd be people that would bring in stuff, but there was other, like Buffalo. When we did the thing in Buffalo, there was like 20 trash cans full of shit outside. the one when whatever the match was or whatever.
Center. That was the Gangsters. If you didn't know ECW, that was their gimmick. Is fans would bring weapons for New Jack and Mustafa to use, and they would pick through all this stuff and then empty the trash cans in the ring and just hit their opponents with it. And that was a lot of what they were about. And that was a great way for the audience to participate. Now that I think about it, like, dude, I brought that toaster.
That was me. I brought that.
No, dude, that's so important what you just said right there. To having a tie between audience members and the wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, that was the best thing about ECW. Our fans taught the fans how to be fans nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were the first people doing all the crazy shit. You know what I mean? All the chants and everything. That wasn't happening anywhere else.
No.
You could do like a freaking behind the what is it called? Behind the ring, behind the
scenes.
Yeah, behind the music.
You could do one of them, I swear, just on the Philly fans.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
They should do a documentary on ECW Philly.
You still see them. There's still like 5 of them that go to the pay-per-views and stuff, and they're always in the hard camera. Like the Hawaiian shirt guy, I see him all the time, Rob.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. he's in freaking pay-per-views. He was just that one.
He had fans all over the world. Like in Japan, that were dressed like him. Fans had fans. That's something that was really cool about it. Cool. Yeah. Hey, Sandboy, do you remember when you and Test were in a car that Shelly Martinez rented? Yeah, I think I talked about this, but Sabu was supposed to go with them. And then I happened to show up at the rent-a-car place because my airplane landed. I didn't have plans or whatever. And Sabu wanted to ride with me. And so for some reason that left Test and Sandman in a car, and Shelly Martinez had to put it on her card, and Sabu guaranteed it. If anything happens, I'll pay for it. I don't know why that went down that way and who Shelly rode with.
Oh, I'll tell you, I know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So she thinks, all right, so me and Tess are driving down the road. I'm just falling asleep. I always have my seatbelt on. We're doing 80 miles an hour. We hit this deer.
Oh, shit.
My eyes are closed. Once we started spinning, we spun like 3 times after we hit this thing. And then we stopped, still looking straight ahead. Tess is like, yo, you good? Yeah, I'm good. We get out. Like, fuck. So I'm like, I got to see where this fucking deer is. So I started pacing off fucking right in the road because Tess said he was right in the middle of the road. He hit him dead straight ahead. I started pacing from where our car landed after 3 spins. It was like 67 paces. The deer bounced, and then at like 101 paces, it bounced again, and then landed in the middle of the road. So meantime, these guys are coming up behind us.
It was super foggy too, right?
Yeah. So they're coming up behind us. But the whole point was the girl that fucking rented the vehicle, they used somebody else's license besides the credit card. And that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Oh. She told me that, and I told her because there was a thing when they were there. They had to use somebody's credit. The girl's
probably Sabu's license and
and her credit card, which is illegal. You're not allowed to do that when you're signing in back in them days. The card has to match the fucking person. So after this shit happened, because Tess was driving her car and it was no fault of his own, I'm explaining this to her at the accident scene when the cops show up. She turns it in on the phone, and I said I was going to pay for everything. That's what she turned the story in. I told her you could.
Oh, that's right. You hated her after that. I forgot about that.
You could sue the rental car company because the license and the credit card didn't match the rental.
So you're giving her an out, and she fucking.
And she turned it into, I promised I would pay for everything. And she went around and telling people that. I didn't fucking care. I mean, people know. But she was one of those people. Here's the thing, dude. When I was especially once I went to Raw, dude, there's all these people because Vince takes every single match and has you get in the ring with him if you're on Monday night. Yeah. Every single match gets in there and Vince is in the middle of the fucking ring.
Yeah.
And all these people would like gather around because there's like 100 freaking people down there. We gather around the ring and all be bullshitting with each other and lying and saying stupid shit. I'm sitting up in the freaking audience, like reading the book, waiting for somebody to fucking pull me down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she was one of those girls that never was over at all and just would say the stupidest things.
Oh.
Not just the thing that I'm talking about, like with me and her, but she was known for that anyway.
Yeah, she had a reputation of just saying.
Well, she would hang around with all these superstars and never shut up.
Oh, man, yeah.
No, but I'm not trying to bury her at all. But she just misunderstood that accident. Why would I say I will pay for everything?
Right. Yeah.
You didn't listen, honey. Sorry.
Yeah, because that's exactly what Sabu said.
Yeah, dude. Fucking. But I don't care because I'm untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Nobody believed her whatsoever. Nobody believed her to yell and say into the locker room, "Oh, Hack said he's going to pay for everything."
Right.
You're like, what are you, stupid?
Right, yeah. No, but Sabu was saying that he told her he'd pay for anything if anything happened. And he was there, had your back every time someone said that. But I forgot about how much heat she got because I was like, man, poor girl. She got conned into letting somebody use her card to rent a car that she wasn't even going to be in, and then they trash it, and then you guys were like, fuck her. And I was like, how did she get heat off of that? But then until I learned everything that happened, I was just like, how did that happen?
Yeah, but people are young and they don't know how to act and their heads get bigger than they are. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame her.
Yeah.
I mean, the girl was a nobody and she's on freaking national television.
That's it. Like, and if you're a certain age, you're just not thinking about that stuff. You're like Rob was saying, he was in that competitive mode, like way back when too. And
he said he was an asshole when he was like 25. So that's probably 7 years of being an asshole right there. How many more to straighten up?
And now I'm growing, so I'm just a bigger asshole.
You're just a bigger asshole. Okay, here's a question. I know Rob told this story before. Kalzi asked this to you, Sandman.
Oh, but in the end, Sabu was with his Japanese wife at the time, and he was always having to explain, this was back when we were, like I said, summer days and all that. But anyway, he had to explain to his wife, who was already putting up with a lot of why he was giving Shelly Martinez $30,000.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Wait,
man,
who's giving Shelly Martinez $30,000?
Sabu.
Who's Shelly Martinez?
That's the girl we're talking about for the car.
Oh, the vampire girl?
Yeah, vampire girl.
What was he paying her for?
Because he did say what you got accused of saying.
Dude, I tell you, he's the nicest guy in the world, dude.
Yeah.
He's just so generous.
Nice, dude.
It's just unbelievable how generous he was.
I love Sabu.
I learned something from him. I was in an indie show, right? And then and somebody, they didn't have money to pay everybody. And one guy didn't have a plane ticket home or something like that. Sabu bought his plane ticket home.
Yeah,
I actually returned that favor like a year ago where the Warlord and the Barbarian got paid. I got in their office right after them, and he's like, no, I don't have any more money. And I'm like, well, dude, tell me more. Are you fucking any of these? He goes, yeah, nobody else is getting paid. I'm like, does everybody have a plane ride home? He's like, no, this one guy doesn't. I paid for the guy's plane ride home.
Wow.
Like I paid it forward.
Yeah.
It wasn't even paid to me, but it was something I had to do because what's this kid going to do? He's in a tumble fucking Iowa. He lives in Florida. How the fuck is he going to get out?
Wow.
And he didn't have the money. He didn't even have a credit card.
Oh, my God.
It's just what you do. You know what I'm saying? I learned that from Sabu, dude. What a fucking
for sure. Was that show in Chillicothe, Ohio, by the way?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. Did you? Oh, my God. The dildoian is freaking hilarious.
It is.
He just starts dropping like 30 photos in front of people. Sign this, sign this, sign this. Francine's like, yo, dude, I ain't doing this.
I ain't doing this shit. Get this out of
That's
here.
when those two have a head-to-head.
Devon?
No, not yet. It didn't
Oh.
happen yet because they were going clockwise.
What two?
Yeah.
Which two?
Franny's at 9.
Dildo and who?
Franny's at 9 p.m. Devon's at fucking like 1 a.m. So he puts these down, and Francine's like, "No, I ain't signing these." He's like, "Well, everybody had a free table at this thing."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, since she's not going to sign these, I'm charging you $400 for the table."
Whoa.
The guy pulls out the $400, gives him the $400, he goes away. But as he's going away, he fires freaking Bill Apter, who's going around for free, like doing interviews with people and shit. He's like, "Bill Apter, you're not interviewing the people I want to interview. You're fired."
Yeah.
This way, he's walking towards Devon.
Oh no!
Yeah. He's got like 30 steps till he gets to Devon. And then Devon made him a new asshole, too.
Yeah, that's when I was
That's the one where he beat freaking Sonny Ono. He had like Dragon somebody or in there. Whoever the Japanese wrestler was.
Oh, okay.
He got beat for that money, and Dylan said he was going to pay him at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday morning at WrestleMania, there's nobody there, so I'm just going around saying hi to old friends. So I see Sonny Ono. Man, love the dude. And first thing he tells me is, "You know this fucking Dylan kid?" He goes, he's trying to beat whoever the Dragon was. I don't know, the Ultimo Dragon or maybe
that's
there's
it.
another.
Oh, Ultimo, it would be Ultimo
Yeah.
Dragon.
So he beat him and was supposed to pay him on WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
So it's Sunday WrestleMania weekend, and Sonny Ono says he had to jack the kid up the night before for the money.
Yeah.
He shit his pants because he got pushed into the bushes.
I heard that one too. I thought he was super drunk for that or something. I don't know.
He might have been. I know the guy that pushed him too. It was a helper of Sonny's. I know the guy, Denovius. He's a good dude.
That's when I realized that he had no problem lying to me and Katie, because the next day he was like, well, I already knew the story, but we act like we didn't know. And he was like, so you didn't even know that who pushed you last night? Like, you just got attacked by some random people? Because that's what he was saying. He was like, yeah. What would you do, Rob? That's what that was the quote. That's exactly what he said. But anyway,
oh, that negative energy.
Yeah. Fuck those motherfuckers.
Here's a question from Kyle Z. Hey guys, Sandman, could you please tell us about the time RVD hit you the hardest?
What, are you kidding me? I remember like it happened 8 minutes ago.
Right.
Right. It's the spot. It's the spot where RVD, you could do a zillion things before it, right? But Rob will go up to the top rope and he'll hit you with that flying kick, right?
Right.
So I'm working with him it's a long weekend too. It was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. I'm like, oh, Jesus. First night, I feed up and we're working on, we might be like in Massachusetts or something. So we're working in like a 16-foot bump ring. You know what I mean? I don't even feed up to the halfway to halfway in the ring. Boom! Freaking, you see the stars, everything.
Sorry,
we have the match. We have the match the next night. I'm like, all right, I am feeding nowhere close to this thing right now. So when I take the bump, I'm over halfway on a diagonal. Bam!
Yeah.
Cracked me again.
I adjusted.
Third night, I didn't feed up for shit. I rolled out. I rolled out. He had to get off the top rope. I'm like, nah, dude. But that's how it was, and that was fine, though. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't tight.
Right. Well,
you weren't tight.
He's not fucking killing me, and he's hitting in the right spot too. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to fucking hit the guy in the right spot.
Yeah.
Do you remember I think we were in Ohio, and I was my music hit for me to do a run-in on you. You were in the ring, and I was way outside with Joe C. We were passing around a doobie, and someone said to me, they walked out there, dude, I think your music was playing. And I was like, no, I still got time. They were like, you sure? It's like, yeah. Like,
Been there, done that.
You were smoking for a couple of minutes and shit. And someone else said, dude, your music's playing there. I go, are you sure? Fuck. And then I had like so far to go. It was like across 2 long parking lots. Open up the door, and then there's a huge gymnasium that's empty, completely empty, that I got to run all the way across, open that up into the section. And when I finally ran in there, and I don't know what we did, but I remember afterwards, you said it was so long that like you started laughing, and then it wasn't funny anymore. And you're waiting, and then it got funny.
Yeah, 7 minutes in, you're like, dude.
Do you remember that time?
No.
Fair enough.
And you think I would, as long as it was, but dude, that's why I can't write a book, dude. I have no memory whatsoever.
Well, Jim the Don.
Wait, hold on. Has anybody told the Taz slap story?
Oh yeah, we talked.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about
it.
It
was great.
Oh, good stuff, huh?
What
did you say? We heard different.
Everyone tells it different, though.
Everybody tells it different.
No, I wasn't there, but when I tell people, I say I was there. I was at WCW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I actually was.
You tell people you were there?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Thanks for a better story, Rob. Come on.
That's funny.
Jim the Don.
I do this freaking podcast, and people can't believe there's only one person I buried in a year, and you know who it is.
I do.
3 letters.
Okay, I mean,
got an A.
Still,
dude, but it wasn't
really bearing. Probably just talking about how it was, right? Like,
yeah, dude, it wasn't just us though.
Yeah,
it was the whole freaking locker room. The guys that he were training freaking hated him. He could make friends with freaking the guys he was working with, and he believed his own shit. That was the problem. He believed his own shit, and that's why Rob had to set him straight. Because Paul builds him up to be this like monster, fucking beating freaking everybody. You know what I mean? He believed his own shit, and I think he'll tell you that today.
Yeah, he's a kind of admitted like all that kind of stuff.
It's such a crazy business because you're taught, you have to believe in yourself so much. You're going to be the one guy out of 100 in your class that's going to fucking make it. You're the best in the world. You got to really get all that in your head. But then once you're actually across that threshold, then it's like you got to learn to dial it back a little bit. Turn it on when you need to, otherwise keep it off, and otherwise you believe in your own shit.
Here I'll give you a perfect story. Bam Bam Bigelow freaking getting schooled by Andre the Giant when Bigelow was a little bit too big for his britches.
Oh,
Andre abused him in a match.
Really?
Straight abused him. Yeah.
Wow.
I saw it, but Bam Bam told me about it when me and him were on the road, like back in the day in the 90s. And then I just saw it recently, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, my God.
It's like, that changed my attitude.
Wow.
Like Big John, Andre and Big John Studd. He used to abuse freaking Studd because he didn't like him. And he thought he was an asshole.
Right.
You call your boss, but hey, boss, kick your ass in the ring, dude. That's the way it was though back then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can't possibly be that way now, but it's just interesting to see fucking, because I grew up in the 60s, but I didn't really start. I'm watching wrestling in like 69 because I was born in like 63. It was on at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm 5 years old. I want to be a pro wrestler. That's the only thing I ever wanted to be, is be a pro wrestler. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the people that I'm watching. But, dude, I've been at the Philadelphia Spectrum because they came every month. Carried pieces in a steel cage to Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd. smacked Superfly Snuka so hard on his back, he turned around, grabbed me by the hair, pulled me over the freaking bar. I'm like 17 and drunk right here. This would happen. Gorilla Monsoon, I jumped underneath the ring because I always wanted to see if there was a spring under there. And it felt like I was under there for like a year. But then Gorilla Monsoon knew my name is Hack because he had thrown me out of the building like 5 times at this point. Okay. Swear to God, dude.
Wow.
I had to see if there was a spring underneath the ring. Well, that was the time I carried pieces of the steel cage. Dude, there was no security back then. Now, like an NFL game on the sidelines, there's a security guard every 10 yards.
Right.
Back in my day, there was one on the 50, one on the 0, and one on the 0. You could walk right on the freaking field. So there was regular people carrying pieces of the cage. I told my buddy Ruben, I'm like, yo, dude, I'm getting to the back of this line. Grabbed the piece of the cage because they didn't wheel it all the way up to the ring. We had to carry like 20 yards to the ring, hand it off to the guy, and then I dove right underneath the ring. Saw the spring and everything. My buddy was like so excited that I saw the spring. Dude, I'm 17 years old right here. I'm like about a 13-year-old kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a believer. I'm loving this shit.
Was that like at the end of the show or before or just when you went under the ring? Was it like during the show or afterwards?
Well, it was right before the steel cage was the last match. That one.
Oh, all right, yeah.
The time that Snuka that I grabbed him by, I smacked him on his back, and then because I had hair as long as his. My hair's like down to here, like in my high school pictures. He turned around and grabbed me by the hair and was pulling me over the guardrail. And thank you, the security guards got me. But then Gorilla got me, and he threw me out back. He punched the button, the door went up, and then he punched the button down. That was the only time they ever wrestled in that one building back then.
Oh, my God.
But, dude, I was like a wrestleaholic until WWE. And then I was just like,
Me and my buddy Dango, by the way, we one time, and I think this is the same night that I kissed Ted DiBiase's foot as a kid. I think it's the same night, like right at the end of the match, the main event went as soon as the talent left and the attention was like going, down the walkway or whatever. We jumped the guardrail and went up to do a backflip off the top rope. Nice. And got kicked out, and then it was like, okay, because we got to leave anyway,
Yeah.
And I just hung out outside like stalkers to get everyone's autograph when they had to walk across the street to their car.
Dude, I went in Philadelphia where they used to do TV there. Mm-hmm. There was like 46 in the Market Street. I went there, and I had no idea that they tape a month's show in one night.
Yeah.
So I seen freaking the Lumberjacks come in their very first time ever seen in the area. By the end of the show, which was a month long, they had the titles. And then I watched that play out on the next month on television.
Yeah, right.
Did you grow up with Joey Merlino?
Yes, but I didn't know him.
Okay.
He's just opened up a pizza place there. A buddy of mine from Boston wants me to go there with him.
Yeah, is that on Broadway? It looks like, from what I've seen it, I think I remember driving by it, but I don't know.
Broad? By the stadium?
Broadway?
Well, yeah, but what happened? He bought it. All of a sudden, there was a strange fire that happened in the next couple months.
Right.
I swear to God. Now they're rebuilding it or something.
Holy shit. I knew Lorenzo's burned down on South Street. I remember that happening not too long ago.
Jim's burned down on South Street.
Jim's True. Damn, that was my favorite place too.
I love Jim's.
Yeah, I do too.
Got any more callers?
Oh yeah, we got a few more here.
Let's go through John Vesey is, dude. You don't know who John Vesey is, do you? No. Like I'm just starting to think about Philly, like random names. Wondering. Because I'm thinking, you're born in '63, but anyway.
Dude, I don't know anybody. I don't leave my house.
Yeah.
Dude, I golf. I can't wait. Sunday afternoon, me and all my sons are golfing. It's great.
Damn.
That'll be my next big house outing besides Walmart.
Next big excursion.
I'm an introvert. Guilty. Go ahead, Dom.
All right. We got Seth, this is the guy that wrote the theme song here. Hack. This is Seth here. So
this is the guy that does a little higher. That's my singing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job.
Thanks.
Man, he's hilarious. LMAO over here. I always thought the White Russian was a cool finish. ECW live only wrestler show next week. Let's go. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but honey, you can't really call it a finish because I never won.
It's a cool name.
It was a cool name.
Won. Oh, that was Joey, totally.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, that makes
We
sense.
made up all the names.
Yeah, the 5-star. Didn't he come up
Yeah,
with
I had the Drunken Steiner. He was. He had a couple names for my moves.
Yeah. Mine,
All my big repertoire of 4 moves. Whack, 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 whack.
Frankie asked this one to you guys. What was your favorite ECW pay-per-view for both you guys? Favorite ECW pay-per-view? Rob's not a favorites guy, but
What me? Because I can't discern them all right now, but I'll just say the first because I got to work with Terry Funk.
oh yeah, you can't beat that, right?
And I dominated that match.
No, didn't
I had a great match.
Man.
Really great match.
Man, I gotta check it out. Barely leave.
Stevie and Terry.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was a triple threat. That's right. Rob, how about you? Did anyone stand out for you ECW wise?
Man, you know, I almost want to say the WWE ECW pay-per-views, which I'm sure not a lot of people will agree with because they want to shit on the new ECW compared to the original. But man,
You're gonna say you overseen it?
That was such a good show. Even the year before,
yeah, show, and it really is a good show.
Yeah, even the year before when I had a injured knee, that also was such a good show. You know, like I don't remember who you worked, but I remember Tanaka and fucking Awesome and Sabu and Rey Mysterio. And I remember your entrance. I don't remember who you worked. I don't remember the whole thing, but I was bummed I couldn't work that. But man, both of those were so fucking good, and the crowd was so good. But there's a lot to put up against them because, you know, I'm thinking about from my match perspective. I like the matches with Sabu. The one that we had in Atlanta where he threw up outside the ring.
Dude, how about the one where you're dressed like Sabu and we open up in freaking in Bigelow's hometown? Asbury Park.
Yes,
that was great shit.
Yeah. We had you confused, didn't we?
Yes, it was great. I loved it because, well, me and Sabu had wrestled so many times. Paul knew it was great to put us on first and do this angle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just blew. It blew the people were like, "Oh shit!" If you get that, and then that pop, then you know you got him.
Yeah, I borrowed a pair of his pants. And then, you know, just let my hair down.
Yeah, like a hair. I thought you had like a sweatband on underneath your hair or something. But you put me through that table on the apron. I think I was.
No, I just saw that a few days ago.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's the only reason I remember it. I just saw it. I didn't just pull that out of my ass.
They'll always play it when it'll be like 30 years ago from today or something like that.
All right. So can we talk about, all right, people, this is how I know the world is in sync. When I'm looking through my timeline earlier today, I'm eating at this Ichiban place.
Number one.
So I'm watching Steve Austin give RVD a beer.
Oh,
they both start drinking it. Austin kicks RVD in the gut and then totally whiffs on his freaking finish and lands on his back like 5 feet away from you.
Right.
I watched it so many times, dude, and I
still managed to pull my face into the mat with it.
You did somehow. It was the inertia.
Dude, did you ever hear anything in the back about that, or was it just like, yeah, shit happens?
I don't remember.
It was after this television was done, right? So this was just caught on camera after.
Oh, I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, dude.
That's good.
I'm still laughing about it now. And I meant to text him. So here's the story. I'm watching that, and I meant to text him, but I think my son called, and then after that, I'm forgetting what the frick I obviously did. and so I pull up to my house, and RVD calls me. And I'm like, all right, the universe is aligned right here.
There it is. That's how it goes.
And I don't care what he asked me to do. I would have said yes right then.
Oh,
I don't care. I mean, like, my boys call me. I should have texted him like 30 minutes ago. You know what I mean? This is meant to be, whatever it is.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, glad to have you on. It's good. I'm like, this is fun, like just catching up, but on the air because I haven't talked to him in a while.
Oh, it's best like this, and we haven't spent a shitload of time together recently.
That's great.
Love it.
It's great to do.
All right, any more questions? I gotta piss soon.
Yeah, he's got. Okay, we got this one here. Sandman, in your own words, how did Paul get TNN?
We were paying for it.
Yeah.
We paid for every single. No station paid us.
Wow.
We paid every single one.
Man.
Just
Rob,
bought.
was that the same way you felt too? Like you just how it went?
I mean, when we got there, I didn't know that much about it early on, how that worked, with the Sunshine Network and all the syndication. I was, still learning to fucking talk on a mic. I didn't care about that.
When Todd was still in the company, I think he says it in his book, he was paying $12,000 a month for television.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he says it in his book.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So you're paying 10 or 12,000.
And that he was trying to sell the show like to HBO among other buyers, and that Paul was intentionally not pursuing it while double talking him because he needed it to go under so that he could own the whole thing.
So he can embezzle the company from Todd.
Wow.
Run Todd out of money. Todd has no other recourse. You know what I mean? He's out of money. His shares are done. That's what happened.
Damn.
And I still wanted to use his name on the LLC and on the image. I learned so much from that book. It was a really good read.
Wow. Yeah. Well, check it out, guys, if you haven't. By Sean Oliver and
Todd is God. Yeah.
Todd is God. Todd is God. Rob, this one's for you regarding Sandman. Do you have a favorite Sandman story? Or did we already talk about one?
What's February 20th?
Oh, he means March 20th, though. He can't wait for March 20th. Only wrestlers.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Are you looking to powder or piss and come back? Because, I mean.
All right, give me a minute. I'll be back.
Okay.
You tell your story.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot of but I mean, I've also just told several. So let me think. Sandman came and signed at my comic book store, which is really cool. Nice. I remember eating Tomayan Japanese barbecue in Lomita afterwards with him. Talked about him eating my mushrooms and him giving me a ride. There's not a lot that I haven't talked about yet, but the first time I remember actually working with him, I feel like it was the Rick Rude interjection into our show. Remember the steel cage and he grabbed Beulah, kissed Beulah maybe or something, right?
Yeah. I know it was a steel cage involvement or something too. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot going on, but somewhere in that melee is Dreamer is handcuffed to the cage inside of it like this.
Right.
And across from him is Sandman. And Sandman has his wrists up here as well, handcuffed. And me and Sabu come in and do a run-in. I think Raven maybe handcuffed him. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I really can't remember, even what Rick Rude had to do with it. Or I was just like, man, that's cool working with Rick Rude, And, we're with him, right? Because we're heels? Sweet. But outside of that, I don't remember much. But to be creative, I told Fonzie to take the chairs me and Sabu both, to have two chairs in the middle of the ring and beside each other facing opposite directions. And me and Sabu said, we'll run and we'll jump off those chairs in the middle, and then we will hit them, right? He's going to jump, and bam, he's going to hit Dreamer. And across the ring, Fonzie's going to be holding a chair over Sandman's face, and I'm going to be doing a flying sidekick off the chair and Sandman's wrists are like this, and I hadn't worked with him before, I don't think, and he said, "Lay it in there."
Dude, it's got to be great, dude. I want it to be look like I got killed.
Right.
And that was the last
to be that way, dude. You can't half-ass that.
No.
The first time I was talking about in the cage match, and you were handcuffed, dude, your arms were like this, so you had no way to protect yourself. And Fonzie had a chair over your face, and I laid it in there. Wham! And after that, you never told me to, really lay it in and send it in as hard as I could anymore. But
no, I learned my lesson.
I learned my lesson that way.
That was my Sandman story.
Hack, somebody asked too.
Working with Rob was so easy, because he had so much offense. I don't have to do anything. Literally, you know what I mean? He's good. I could just sell, and it's not even. It's like you go out there with an idea with Rob and with Sabu. It's not freaking. You have to remember, there's people in AEW right now that are going out to the ring and memorizing 150 things in a row.
Yeah.
Literally, you know what I mean? I could work with Cactus. I could work with Van Dam. I could work with Sabu. Not Dreamer. I'd have to plan a little bit more with Dreamer. Cactus, same thing. It's an idea that you're going out there with. You know where you want to go, where you're going to go at the end. But it's a lot of dude, I know if you're going to hit me with a clothesline, you don't have to call it. You know what I'm saying? We're all professionals here.
Mm-hmm.
So those were the guys that I love to work with the most.
And if it's a leg lariat instead of a clothesline, you still don't need to know, right?
Exactly. I know what they do. I know. I'm watching it. I'm right there.
Yeah, one of the things that really sucks about when everything needs to be so set up and stuff is sometimes there'll be a hole or a gap. Sometimes, if I'm working with somebody young or new, and we have a match later on in the day or whatever, I'll be like, something there, there needs to be something there. What about this? Boom, boom. No, that's not it. Let's meet again in a couple hours. We'll feel
that's exactly how it is, though.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain a little bit earlier with Johnny Ace. We all got together for a good hour and talked. Then everybody breaks apart and go think about it. Some guys that are rolling in after the other guys are talking to, when I do this, that's when your cue is. You're going over a lot of shit. And the music people have to know their shit too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that in a singles match, it's not like that. But when you got a tag match and you have literally 14 people running in, you got to have your shit together.
You got to have your shit together for sure. Yeah. No, I've seen backstage too, younger wrestlers just going over a whole match, over and over and over again. And it's just so many of that times back in your guys, it didn't happen in ECW that much. It's you call it in the ring and everybody calls it.
Dude, I got lucky. Literally. Joel Goodhart, who owned the freaking Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, which turned into Eastern Championship Wrestling with Todd, and then turned into Extreme Championship Wrestling with Paul E. So I started with that guy. I got so lucky. I saw one of his independent shows. I was like, I could do this. Gave the guy $3,500 the next day. Started in his school March 6, 1989. My daughter's birthday. I had my first match by June 9th.
Oh,
my mom's birthday.
June 9th. And then the next thing you know, I worked with Ivan Koloff, Superfly Snuka, Jim the Anvil Neihart, Don Morocco, all for this Tri-State Wrestling Alliance.
Todd Gordon was there, right?
What?
Was Todd Gordon there?
Not yet.
Oh,
this was still tried. Yeah, this was before Todd. Todd's not in for a couple more months.
Okay.
So I go to freaking, and then the guy gets a call from Jerry Lawler and says, I need 2 dudes, but I want them to have gimmicks. So that's how I ended up getting a surfboard. I never used to come out the surfboard in the very beginning, but Lawler wanted me to have more of a gimmick.
Oh.
So as the Sandman, what are you going to do? You're going to get a goddamn surfboard for a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Ray Odyssey shit.
Come out.
Everybody's going surfing.
Who was the other guy? You said 2 guys with a gimmick.
Yeah, who's the other guy?
Was another surfer or someone different? A different gimmick.
What?
It doesn't matter. I thought you said that.
No. So here's the deal. So within 6 months, so I had my first match in June. By not even 6 months. By late September, I'm working with Jerry Lawler in main events in USWA.
Oh.
I've been in the business since June 9th, my first match. Next thing now, I'm working with Lawler. And he taught me everything.
Man.
Dude, he taught me. Dude,
you know
my first match. What?
You know everything?
No, he told me everything that I actually, dude, I used to be so nervous and shit like that. We would go to the ring with nothing except the finish.
Wow.
I'm wrestling my very first time, Nashville Fairgrounds, Christmas night.
Whoa.
All I get is the referee telling me what the finish is going to be. I'm shitting myself.
The baby face and heel dressing rooms are on opposite sides of the building.
Exactly. So all I got was the finish, and I'm the main event with Lawler Christmas night.
Man.
We go out there, we lock up. He tells me a joke to tell this big fat guy in the front row. I go, oh, he pushes me away. I go over, grab the microphone, tell the joke, and I screwed up the finish to the joke. Nobody popped. And I saw his fucking face like that. So I put the mic down. We lock up again. He goes, he's just teaching me. We lock up again, and he says, this is the finish to the joke. Go tell it again. I'm like, dude, are you serious? He pushes me away and goes, yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to tell the same exact joke with a different finish now. I told the joke, he got a huge pop.
A lot of jokes on you.
Listen to this. So we lock up again. He goes, give me an headlock. So I got this wetsuit on. Now he tells me, get a foreign object out of your wetsuit and hit me with it. I wrench it in. I'm like, dude, I don't have a foreign object. He's like, act like you fucking got one.
Iron Mike Sharp style.
So I do one of these things. I give an elbow across the back of the head. Then I do my Baron Miguel Cicluna into my freaking wetsuit on the side to get out the gimmick. Yeah. So I get the gimmick out. I hit him. He sells it like I just hit him with a grenade. And then I open my hand before I put the gimmick back.
Oops.
Then he was right. I fuck up his opening joke. And now I have a gimmick out that everybody in the audience realizes that I have nothing.
No gimmick.
Like I
killed after he sold it.
Yeah, dude, what?
Oops.
Dude, it was so bad. Oh my God. Everything was okay after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember what the joke was, Sandman?
Huh?
Do you remember what the joke was that he wanted you to tell?
Nah, a fat joke. A typical
fat joke. Oh, okay.
But I was so damn nervous.
Yeah, right? Jeez.
No, dude, shitting myself nervous.
I bet it. Like, all you get is the finish and you're working with Lawler. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, heck. When I was in USWA, so this is 90. No, it's 91. So I'm 20, right? I think we're in Jonesboro, Arkansas, which isn't real important.
Right, which is one of their towns that you would hit like once a month.
Yeah, in the back area is a stage with a curtain, right? So you can watch, through the curtain on the stage, and you can watch the matches. And Jerry Lawler was standing there, he probably walked up afterwards, but he was standing there like looking through the curtain, and I was like down on one knee, looking through the curtain, watching the show. 20 years old, super green, and Jerry goes, hey, Rob, you know what would be funny? Wouldn't that be funny if like they open up the curtains and like my dick was in your mouth? And he said, like it wouldn't be like you wouldn't be sucking it. See, that's what would be funny is like they would think that you were sucking it, but really you wouldn't be. So the joke would be on them. I'm like,
you're like you're doing your Ralph Cramden.
What the fuck? I didn't know what to say, but I knew it was funny.
So did you stand up at least?
Yeah, I did. I don't
backpedal a little bit like this.
Whoa, I don't know what I did. I didn't put it in my mouth. I know that.
That didn't happen.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Maddie's giving some super chats. He says, "Bad business Bobby running around when RVD isn't around. It's not so easy." He says, "RVD helps be your true self, Zen Sensei." Oh yeah.
It's Maddie. Maddie missing marijuana has told me I'm like Splinter to him, and Yoda as well. So
The Yoda.
Oh, Splinter's the turtle dude.
The Ninja Turtle guy, yeah.
Yoda is the Star Wars guy.
Star Wars guy, exactly.
The wolves.
I'm surprised I got that actually.
Yeah, good job.
Well, Splinter, I only know. Well, Star Wars, you should know Yoda, but Splinter because my oldest sister, Tyler, that used to go to the ring with me, like back in the day, he was like all Ninja Turtles, so that's how I know Splinter.
Heck, I still haven't seen Wizard of Oz.
What?
I just watched it for the first time last week.
Like the original?
Yeah, it was amazing.
I just had to say that because he has said that for 30 years.
Yeah, that was the thing. When anybody mentioned the movie, I just saw The Wizard of Oz for the first time last week. Rob. I forgot I used to say that.
Maybe I fucked it up a little, but you got it.
No, you got it. Or you're on.
I got fooled.
Yeah.
Hey, Hack, Chris asks here, what is it like being around Dreamer? Because you mentioned like you don't talk too much about how it is.
Yeah, but it's like being around a brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were so tight. And you got to me and Tommy both know it that we made each other. We were both in the same rocket ship that launched our careers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a tie you can only have with one freaking person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that'll be a bond that'll never be broken.
Hell yeah. That's great.
Yeah, everybody loves Tommy that knows him. I can't imagine like anybody like really having heat with him. Maybe no, it'd be hard to imagine. If I had to imagine someone, it would be a girl, just because he loves girls, and that's.
Oh yeah, he's got a little Magic Johnson in him. You know what I mean? Just love fucking. Don't care about drinking. Don't care about smoking.
Right.
Just that.
You care about the ladies.
Cares about the ladies. That's it.
Hey, let me ask you, Sandman, do you remember you and Tommy were a tag team in a match against me and Sabu? I think that's Trenton, New Jersey, way back like 90.
Remember the fire escape outside along the wall?
Oh, no, this one is an outside show, and we dressed on the
bleachers. Okay. I remember. I know that show, too.
Ballpark. But the match, Sabu shit his pants.
Oh.
And like he did that thing that the Hardy Boys stole from us, but he had like I think he did it to both of you, maybe you and then Dreamer. But I would go down on my hands and knees, and Sabu would run off of me, jump off of me, and then do like a double leg lariat into the corner, and he'd shit his pants because he had a sick stomach before the match, and we were all like, oh, and he did that move off of me on a Dreamer, and it was like, oh my god, dude, it's horrible, and he was laughing, Sabu was laughing, I was laughing. You don't remember that?
No, but I remember like
you don't have a memory.
I remember it happening to sports players.
Oh yeah,
a lot of NFL like linemen get that black mark.
Yep. They sometimes intentionally do it so people think they're nuts too. I remember hearing about that. They'd shit their pants.
So he had for some reason he was sick before the match. Like fans don't think about it.
No, but dude, healthy guys have taken a backdrop and squirted.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been in a fucking Wawa fucking line buying a coffee and farted and squirted. Dude. It happens. We're men. It happens everywhere. It's called a shart.
It's it.
It was funny with Sabu because it stunk really bad. It became the focal point of our match.
That's the storytelling.
You know how like when you're watching a baseball game, there's bleachers and you're outside?
Yeah.
We were sitting on those bleachers, smoking and drinking, which I don't know if I drank before my match, but definitely afterwards. I remember having like at least like 3 beers and feeling really good. And then Pee-wee was running his mouth, the referee, and he was just talking about how he would be able to beat any of the wrestlers in a foot race because he's really fast. So we're not like necessarily doesn't mean we're great athletes just because we're wrestlers. And, we go back and forth because I just say, wait a minute. What do you tell? You're saying no wrestler, it would be a good runner. Well, no, not me. Like this would happen all the time, and he would always get under my skin to where I would have to put it in his face. And this was one of those times because we decided to.
Who'd you race against him?
The football
field. Shetty or something.
It was 100-yard run on the football field.
Right.
I think maybe back too.
Reno could have been good too.
Well,
Rob?
Well, it was just right there. But anyway, where we started out like neck and neck and running and shit. And then I was like, and then I just went into sprint mode and went wham and like wasted.
Oh, you toasted him.
Yeah. And then he would go, well, but that's just,
the sun was in my eyes.
Most people I could beat them. He always did that. He said I wouldn't be able to hit one ball at the batting cage if I'd never done it before, but he could hit 5 of them out of 20 or whatever. And I'm like, no. If you can hit 5, of course I can hit 1, dude. What do you? Well, no, it takes practice. So I had to go and we had that kind of relationship. Me and Sam.
So wait a minute, what happened at the batting cages?
Oh, I hit the ball. I hit a couple of them.
Nice.
All right. What were you there with like 70 mile an hour? 70 mile an hour hard balls?
I don't remember that, but whatever it was, he put the conditions on it, his standards, where he said, I wouldn't be able to hit 1 time. Nobody does.
Dude, you were facing 70, 80 probably then for him to say that. Dude, you got to understand, baseball is the craziest freaking sport because it's your eye. Dude, if you're a great hitter, your eye picks up the red stitches coming off the pitcher's hand and the spin. You know what I mean? It's like
what pitch it is, yeah.
That just takes it away.
I didn't do great, but I did better than I said I would.
You got the hit. You got the hit.
You need that eye, dude, and you can't teach the eye. You have to just have it.
Man, maybe you could have been a ball player.
It's like,
that's the thing is I was always trying to tell them, look, I'm athletically gifted. I will beat you at anything else besides wrestling. And I was always like, that was our relationship always. And he would always be, oh no, not this. Of course I'd do better at this. Yeah.
Did you guys ever bowl?
No.
Never bowled. I'm a horrible bowler.
Dude, I could bowl a 110 easily.
Yeah? Easily.
I feel comfortable saying I could get 80.
I can get 80.
I love going bowling with me, my grandkids.
Used to as a kid. Yeah, I was on a league.
Yeah. And golfing. Dude, what's tomorrow? I don't know. What is that?
Friday. Tomorrow's Friday.
Like freaking 72 hours I'll be out on the golf course with 3 of my sons. It'll be the greatest day.
That's awesome, man.
It's going to be like 75 degrees in Philly already. Winter's over. We got like 2 inches of snow the whole year.
Man, you can't beat that.
Don't snow here anymore, dude. It's crazy.
It's wild. It is wild.
It just doesn't.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But the weather's, dude. Well, Rob, you know about freaking Well, your shit was the fires in California, dude, are inexcusable. You know what I'm saying? They should freaking everybody knew that could happen.
It got out of hand.
Everybody knew. And then you have a reservoir that's not even working. So all your fire hydrants don't even work in these neighborhoods. Dude, here. I think it's a work. I think it's a work because, all right, you're getting people out of there. There is rich people, but way more just regular people lost their houses. Yeah. Even though regular people in California, you're built, it might be like a $750,000 house or whatever, but you're not the ultra elite neighborhood. You know what I mean? They wiped out all those neighborhoods, and they're all going to become super rich neighborhoods. Same thing happened in Hawaii when they had that fire that the electric company started. It's probably around 2 years now.
Yeah, about in Maui.
All the regular people are out of there. They went to all the other islands. Now it's all super duper money moving in there. Yeah. So the population could go from say 2,800 to freaking 700 for people that actually registered to live there and shit, dude. It all turned into freaking just money, dude. Same thing's happening in Carolina right now too. All those fires. Look what happened in Carolina. They get between the hurricanes, and then they got no disaster relief. They got no help whatsoever. Then freaking last week, they got 27 fires burning freaking everywhere. They're going to turn that into rich people land, dude. Crazy. It's right there. Speaking right there off of Nag's Head. Dude, the rich get richer.
Yeah, that is the way our world works. Man, I remember looking for when I first moved to LA, looking in Pacific Palisades, one of the neighborhoods that's no longer there anymore. That was it's between Santa Monica and.
Was that one of the last ones to go? That wasn't one of the first, was it?
No, it was.
Yeah.
It was a
couple weeks in.
Palisade.
Is there still any? Is there burnings right now? I know you're worried about mudslides because of the rain coming in, right?
I live in Las Vegas now, right?
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, he's in Vegas now.
Yeah, so don't worry about me. I'm okay. But we're doing a show in LA next week, March 20th. That's me and Katie are owners of this Only Wrestlers.
Only Wrestlers. There it is.
Yeah, so. Look, we got Chris Masters, Los Santos, Fonzie will be there, Cage, boom, 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 all those guys. But yeah, I don't know if I've talked to you about it or not, Sandman, or if it'd be something you'd be interested in. But anyway,
March 20th.
It's but not just the show.
Isn't that a couple days?
It is. So this show is booked, but it's also anyway, I'll talk to you about it later. Yeah, but we're also some of the funds are going to go towards, I don't know if it's Red Cross or whatever that goes to the California fire victims. And I had said I was going to donate this outfit. And this is the one right here. Right.
That looks like a golden oldie.
It is. You know what? I've worn this so many times. I've seen me in it in the ECW times.
Yeah, it looks like it's ECW freaking
yeah. Never made an action figure of it. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, dude. Do you have how many more of those outfits do you have?
Maybe a lot. Maybe 200.
Holy shit.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But anyway, so far I don't have my shit together to draw enough attention for the auction. So I think I'm gonna hold off because I wanted to be able to start the auction, have it online, and then the night of the show have it somehow continue there through the site. But
yes, that's a good idea. I think.
Now it's in 6 days or something, and it kind of got overlooked.
You're oops, not ready.
I don't know. I don't want to waste it. I don't want someone picking it up for $4.
Well, no, because you don't want to have to take it off the market at some point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're way better waiting.
Yeah.
Because I hate selling if it doesn't make your price.
I hate getting rid of them. I used to be able to part with them and say, well, it'll mean more to someone else than me rotting in my closet. But I don't part with them anymore because now I like to collect a lot of my own stuff, and that's one of them. So this was going to be unusual for me to go ahead and part with this, but for the right cause. So, but I think I fucked it up. So I think I'll make an official decision tomorrow, but I don't think, yeah, like you said, I think I'm going to wait on that. But anyway, boom, just transitioning into talking about that. We plugged that. Hey, do you know what is going on with Dolph Ziggler's brother in the lawsuit?
I've heard about it with the whole AEW and you know that him being like kind of terminated unceremoniously, and then like all involvement.
I know like very little. All I know is some of what's been reported, but from what's being reported, allegedly, the guy that Dolph Ziggler's brother was in AEW, and he doesn't think he got a fair shake because CM Punk didn't like him. According to what I've picked up, CM Punk had him like backed up in a corner and said, "Do you want to step outside?" or something like that. I don't know if there's more to it than that, but based on that, that should not be enough to have a lawsuit, which is what is what's been reported is that he's suing for one of them was assault, which I don't know what happened, but man,
if no police showed up, this sounds like bullshit. It sounds like they'll take the first offer that they're giving to him. I mean, think about it. He's talking about now, like Punk backed him into a corner. You didn't call the cops right then. You know what I'm saying? Dude,
do we want to live in a world where the boys settle something in the dressing room and then they're suing each other over it? I don't even know, like on the streets, if someone attacked me, I don't know if I want to call the cops if I don't have to, because they're going to come and make it worse.
No, you're the kind of dude who's just going to push him away and push him away. You would have, even if you had to jog away from him, if you couldn't get him to stop, that's you, Rob. Yeah, you're not fucking getting on your phone and calling 911.
But people are entitled, they feel like, boom, money, money lawsuit. And
I didn't realize you were talking about somebody trying to take advantage of your fame out in public.
I went through this. I think it was 2019. I had to go to court, and I had to go through the trial, and the guy was suing me so he could get his face reconstructed and get a new nose and all this stuff. And I had a great lawyer that made some great points, and his was all bullshit. But it always makes me not want to go out every time I have an altercation.
So you won, but how much did you pay in legal fees?
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Right. Yep.
Frick. It was probably had to be like 40 G's.
Way more.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know enough to say to have an opinion because I don't know all the facts about the Ziggler case. But if he is suing for assault from someone saying, "Do we need to step outside?" which is how the one thing that I saw, then man, I hope it doesn't become that much of a work safe environment. It makes, man, the dressing room and the workplace of wrestling is becoming more and more like a corporate office, and it's just kind of sad to see.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Look at the shit DX got away with blackface paint freaking back in like the 90s. You know what I mean? That ain't going on right now. You know what I mean? It's a different corporate world.
Yeah,
I get that, but I still think the kid's all bullshit.
Yeah. So the claims in the lawsuit.
Allegedly, I think he's bullshit.
He said the claims in the lawsuit, Rob, you're right. Ryan Nemeth claims that Punk assaulted him in the locker room. Blackballing. Nemeth claims that he was stopped from wrestling for AEW after speaking out about Punk's harassment. workplace harassment. Nemeth claims that Punk intimidated him and that AEW and Khan did nothing to protect him. And then a breach of contract. Nemeth claims that AEW breached his contract by...
Well, but wasn't he a total prick when he was there? Is that what the story is anyway?
Who, Punk or Nemeth?
Yeah, Punk.
Punk? Well, it depends on really who you talk to, because it seems like AEW is kind of like a madhouse when it gets run.
Because nobody fucking no one single person has the answer.
That's it.
The inmates are running the island.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Punk was there, had a new lease on life when it came to wrestling, and got really was sick of their crap after a while. And then,
well, yeah, but was sick of their crap? Was that because that tag team that's great was running their own shit? This guy was running his own shit. Who's the tag team I'm talking about?
Young Bucks you're thinking of.
Who?
The Young Bucks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They were running shit, right?
They were doing their own thing, and there's clearly tension between...
Was it Jericho had his voice fucking all up in there the whole time, too?
There was lots of different voices going on.
Right. That's my point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, to me, that freaking makes whatever Punk was doing, I could see him being pushed into that perspective.
Right. He got sick of all that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I always think when someone that's in the victim position, in this kind of situation, that they have a hard case to prove if they're going to say that the reason I wasn't given more work is because this happened.
Sure.
It's all subjective. They'd be suing movie producers if that was because that's basically what's going on right here.
Right. Yeah.
You have producers that are choosing you. Then why isn't Hollywood freaking filing lawsuits against a producer that like the girl with the Midwestern look over the Chinese looking girl?
Right.
You know, it's good. That I don't know. I just thought about that right there, but it makes sense though, because you can't do it because it's all so subjective. What is being over, Rob? Who's over? Are you over?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You over with the office? You over with the people? You need to be over with freaking both of them.
With both of them, right?
Are you selling tickets?
That's what we hard to find the balance. We got a lot of people trying to chop you down.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Another super chat here before we close out. Kyle Z asks, Sandman, do you have any stories of the Sheik? I'm guessing he means the original Sheik.
Okay, dude, seriously. All right, I'll tell you one. You're gonna love this. So, I'm in Sabu. I'm wrestling for Sabu for his uncle in Escanaba, Michigan. It's technically in Canada, but that's just the way the borders work out, and we protect Canada and all that bullshit. So Escanaba was really in Canada, but it's part of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on my way there, I pick up freaking King Kong Bundy.
Okay.
I pick Bundy up at his house because we're both going to the same place. We get on a plane to go to we probably had to go to Pittsburgh and then Escanaba. We get on one of those planes, 21 people. The freaking stewardess comes back and goes to Bundy, sir, either you're going to have to move to this side of the plane or I'm going to have to get 5 other people to move to this side of the plane to balance out the weight.
Wow.
Those small planes, dude, that's what they care about. And I was just cracking up. So we get there, right? We're at dinner. Fucking Tammy and freaking Chris are on the Soma train. We're all sitting at fucking dinner. I literally put both of them on a luggage cart. Swear to God, we're in the restaurant, which is right inside the front door. Got a luggage cart, put them both on the fucking luggage cart, and carted them off into their room. After that, we go back to dinner, and the Sheik's fucking asking the busboy where he can get some cocaine, brother. You know, the medicine.
Oh, he is talking about Iron Sheik.
Oh, Iron Sheik. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik, the cocaine, bro.
Yeah, I don't know the other Sheik.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So fucking the Sheik, fucking he gets coke that you can snort, and crack that you can smoke. So me, the Sheik, and the Rock and Roll Express go up to Sheik's room. Swear to God, the Sheik breaks out a freaking glass pipe, puts the crack in there, fires up a huge hit, and starts doing fucking deep knee bends while he's holding his fucking milk. He'd get like 5 in, he'd blow a little bit out. He'd get like another 3 in, blow a little bit out. Get another 2 in, blow the last of it. He's like, Sandman, you can never waste the gimmick. You must always work out when you do the gimmick. He did 300 squats smoking crack in front of me. Because that was his deal for the night. He had to do 300 of them.
Wow.
Craziest thing I ever seen ever.
Holy shit.
So
smoking crack, doing deep knee bends. Well, because he was always in shape, you know what I mean? He had that gut, but that gut wasn't squishy. That gut was hard as shit.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, swinging them freaking clubs, dude. That's all abs.
Holy shit. Jeez. Rob, you were telling the story too, how like Sheik you'd want to pay for dinner or whatever, your own side of dinner, and he'd be like, no, you can't do that. And then he would just sign autographs.
Everyone that knows him knows that was his currency, was his 8x10s.
His 8x10.
Yeah. Which picture do you want?
Dude, some of them are so old, they're like brown around the edges. They're like bicentennial editions. Seriously.
He would take it if it was a little discount off of it. If it would, he preferred it to take care of everything, but there was no losing out if he offered up the photos, he would get something for it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, he's one of the biggest characters. What a freaking character. Oh my God. I got a couple other Sheik stories, but they're too long.
Well, Hack, is there anything you want to plug? You got the podcast?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm such an idiot. I don't know anything. So I brought up a card. Hold on.
All right, no problem. Guys, if you haven't yet, though, sign up for onlywrestlers.com. Get in on it before the pay-per-view, March 20th.
Oh shit.
By the way,
no, I lost you guys. Where are you?
We're still here.
Still here.
Can you see what? All right, here.
Yep.
I can't see you anymore, but let me read this shit.
Okay.
It's the Sandman podcast on freaking TikTok, X, Instagram. It's all, and I don't know what the last one is, but they're all Sandman podcasts. So wherever you get it from, you get it.
All right. Be sure to type in Sandman podcast in your podcast feed of choice, and be sure to find it and download it.
Who's your host? Does he do other shows too?
I think it's
no, Rob. Actually, I don't like doing other people's shows. I don't. In fact, I haven't done a show since freaking I started doing my own show. I think we do it once a week. We're in like our 56th episode because I want to save my shit for my own shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I was just saying, who's your host though?
Oh, Brian Tosh. You got to just like listen to him. The dude sounds like a freaking baseball fucking like. He's got a great voice.
Brian Tosh.
And he's smart. And he's my business manager also.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Well, cool,
yeah,
guys.
he's got his shit going. All right, boys. Rob, love you. Thank you very much.
You, man. Thanks so much.
All right, peace.
Good to see you, man.
Peace.
Right. See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob.
Cool, man. Another good show. That was a good idea. We got some ideas in the chat room of who to have on.
Guys, who do you want next coming out for the chat? Yeah, that was a good one. Whoever suggested that. That's funny, too, because it was Mike Chioda was talking about how he's getting mistaken for it. There's a lot of... And lo and behold, somebody's like, you should get Hack on here.
Yeah. The dogs always know when the show's over. I don't know.
Okay, we're wrapped, huh? We can party down.
Yeah. But by the way, so I don't forget to say, what show was I doing?
Chris Van Vleet?
Yeah, thank you. I was doing that the other day. And anyway, someone had asked about, Maven, if I knew, or if I had seen Maven's apology or whatever. So I just wanted to say, if anyone was following that silly little angle that was going on, I did Cafe de Renee's show recently.
Okay.
And while I was on there last week, Maven also called in just to chat or whatever, and to talk about that. So we both talked about it on Renee's show. So
I gotta check that out.
yeah,
That's great. That's awesome. I didn't know that happened.
yeah.
How was the Chris Van Vliet thing? It looked like it was cool. It was at the Casino de Circo, right?
Yeah. Yes, it was, and yeah, it was awesome. You know, good guy. I think everyone likes him. You know, that knows him, at least the professional side of him. He's very gentlemanly, hard to not like, and he asks a lot of good questions that keep the conversation going.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. He's definitely good at what he does. Yeah, Chris,
yeah,
great. You just had Scott Steiner on there too a little. It was the one that just got posted, I think.
Okay, he did Chris Bay before me.
Okay. Cool.
I showed up with a Chris Bay shirt, and Chris Bay was right there leaving when I got there. So that was pretty cool. And I want to see the one with Chris talking as well. Chris hadn't heard about what's going on with Bad Business Bobby. So I was very happy to enlighten him on that.
You filled him in.
That opportunity to remind everyone what a scumbag he is.
So did you mean Chris Van Vliet? Did you say that?
No, he was like, and I was like, you know who Bobby Fulton is, right? He was like, no. I'm like, you don't know who Bobby Fulton is? Like, him and Tommy Rogers were Fantastics. And it was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I said, no, you're not missing anything. I'm just saying, I've had so many people, from fans to wrestlers to office people. I'm used to them telling me how much they enjoy me outing the crime family. And then usually they add their own stories, like Sandman, like everyone does, you know. So I was just kind of surprised that he wasn't familiar with it. So I shed a little light on the subject for him, so he knows that Bobby is indeed a scumbag. Oh, congratulations on scamming Christy into marrying you. I hope you got my vows.
Hey, also, we didn't talk about this on the show, but we saw the attendance, or at least photos of the attendance that happened.
Yeah.
And was not very, not a good turnout, it didn't look like.
Yeah. It was, but first they were taking like during the day, like with the convention, was like really slow. But I thought towards the end of the night, when the wrestling was going on and they had everybody sitting so it could look fuller, I didn't think it looked that bad. I mean, there's definitely some smaller shows, but they, you know, probably might have spent a little more than they brought in, one would assume. I actually got a list from Dildo of his report of they tried not to pay Vampiro, and there was like 2 other talents they tried not to pay, and that, you know, there's like a little list or whatever that I was like, that don't sound worth mentioning, but I guess I just did. And by the way, I'm working on something really special. It's a wedding present.
Nice.
I have it next week. It's gonna be.
I can't wait, man. Yeah. But it's gonna make Bobby really happy.
For Bad Business, Bobby.
Bring joy to their life. Shit, there was one more thing I was gonna ask you, Rob. I can't remember what it was though. Can't remember. Oh well. Oh, people are suggesting people. A lot of people are saying Raven for a guest. Big Papa Pump. Maddie suggests, Raven, Dreamer, Blue Meanie, Stevie. Seeing if there's any other ones that I'm seeing any I go mention. No, those are the only ones I'm seeing at the moment. So if anybody's got some, though, let us know. Hit us up and
well, there's some ideas. I like all those people. They're all outside of my, as Sandman put it, 10-foot radius. If he meant what I think that he meant by that was that I'm not really sure what he meant. 10 feet sounds like a lot, but I don't keep, my inner circle of friends and people that I communicate with and trust is like pretty small. And then there's like another layer, which, that I don't even know if I may or may not even have their phone number, but they're great people. Love them. Awesome. Be great to talk to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No.
I'm always like, when people talk about having like a party, a birthday party, fucking bar mitzvah, whatever, or something when they're older, even, and they have wedding even, and they have guests, like 400 people. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't know, like, I wouldn't know 40 people to invite. How the fuck do you know 400 people?
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine inviting 400 people to something.
Yeah, well, at least for the wedding, you only got to do half. It's half and half, I guess. But I meet a lot of people, but yeah, as far as like people I keep up with, definitely, could take a couple fingers off and still count it on one hand.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, it's good to have just a select group of friends though too. It's a nice thing. It's just, it's hard to, interact with people a lot of the times too. Somebody else suggested Al Snow as well. Joshua suggested Al Snow's funny.
He is. That would be good. And he could tell some stories. I don't know if you know, but when I started out wrestling, Al Snow was somebody that I wrestled a little bit in that area in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. He had a partner, Machine Gun Mike Kelly. Sabu and I tagged against them. Sabu and me against Machine Gun Mike Kelly and Al Snow. Also, me and Dango tagged against them. Al was older than me, still is. And so when I was super young and green, he was one of the veterans, trying to say, whoa, way too stiff. And, but he might remember some things from back in the day, because for me, the whole world was like so new, Right. But, matter of fact, I think it was November 1st, and this would have been, I guess, 1991, when I drove down to Florida from Michigan. I had a booking in Lima, Ohio for Al Snow, so that was like 4 hours south for Battle Creek. So I figured, fuck it, I'm 4 hours south. I'll just leave from there and just drive down to Florida. And I had a schedule for the opening of the ICWA, so that's why I was painting the bleachers at the Sportatorium and hanging the sign up and painting the roof. Anything I could do to let's go, because I had the bug. I'd been in about a dozen indie shows and had the USWA experience of doing 4 or 5 shows a week on a loop, and I just wanted to keep doing it. So
you get the bug once you're going, you're cooking, man. It's like, that's it. My brother Marcus, he's got the bug now too, and he's going around to the local promotions and traveling around and doing all that stuff now, even this weekend. Yeah,
still got to watch him.
Yeah,
I still got to watch him, but also that was my agenda. Sabu and Sheik said for the first couple of years, just get as much ring time as you can.
Yeah.
So that's what I was out to do. You want to put a wig on me? Fine, whatever. That's what we were taught. That's why I could be Rod Zat or Robbie Zat or International Patriot or Flying Tiger or the Polish Prince.
Matt Byrne.
yeah. Didn't matter, because it wasn't about that. It was about getting the ring time. So that was not by mistake.
Getting the reps in.
Yeah.
Maddie says Jerry Lynn too. He would be a good one.
I thought about that yesterday too.
Yeah. Bully.
Yeah.
Marco from RVD420.com.
Marco from RVD420 glass.
Go over there. Get some 420 glass.
Marco.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Based out of Pittsburgh. GreekGlass.com or RVD420.com. you'll get some that great RVD glass. There's several options you got on there too, so some good stuff. Wow, here's a wild one. Is Joey Styles? Joey Styles.
Wow, that would be awesome.
That'd be really good. Wow.
I wonder if that would be really good. I like these suggestions. I like them.
Oh, Godfather. It's a good one.
Yeah. I actually called him last week to be on it.
Oh, nice.
He was on an airplane leaving town. So,
yeah.
Kyoto wasn't my first choice.
Oh, Kyoto was a good one, though. He was great.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I miss him. He made my time at WWE a lot more fun. Like,
how couldn't he? Right?
He was one of those 3 or 4 people that I would keep close to me at that time.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. That's the way to do it. Cool. Well, Marco says to hit him up when you get a chance, I guess, too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got your email, your message, and will do.
So, guys, if you haven't yet, though, onlywrestlers.com, sign up now. If you do that and you subscribe to a certain wrestler account, whether it be Brian Cage's or Bill Alfonso or RVD's, you get the pay-per-view. So subscribe and sign up and get it going, because March 20th is when that show happens. If you're I'm
gonna go take the trash out.
Okay, he's gonna take the trash out.
I just got a message literally on my phone.
Was that what that was for the trash?
Yeah.
So, guys, though, yes, definitely subscribe to onlywrestlers.com.
Yeah, fucking next week's the show. We're excited about it. It's our kickoff. It's our kickoff, and we're already talking about coming afterwards, maybe to Chicago, the Windy City.
Oh, man.
That's what we're looking at for our follow-up show. It's a great city to wrestle for. I love when I'm near there and the fans say, dude, I was here when you won the Money in the Bank. And lots of good memories from
great wrestling city.
Yeah. Let's test this first kickoff first. And also this weekend, March 15th, Saturday, I'll be at the big event.
Ooh.
In New York? New York, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So check that out, guys, if you're in the area.
A lot of wrestlers, yeah. Look it up on the website, because it looks like everybody's there. It looks like it's going to be a really big show.
Take a look, guys. Well, I'll promote it too on socials.
It's going to be a big event.
Big event. Hey, Rob, guess who I'm going to probably see on Saturday, by the way?
Bruce Lee. No.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Stan Hansen. He's coming. He's coming to Pittsburgh. They're doing a Bruno Corey Graves' brother, Sam Adonis, is doing a Bruno Sammartino tribute show. And it's associated with the Sammartino family. And so they got Stan Hansen to come in. Corey Graves.
I almost said Bruno Sammartino. I should have said that. And you would, because I felt that.
Yeah.
And then what did I say instead? I said Bruce Lee, because I was going to say Bruno Sammartino. And the reason is because that I did a big event show and it was Bruno Sammartino's last appearance. And I have that filmed. It's on my documentary, Headstrong. Uh-huh. I was literally thinking that at the time when you said, guess who I'm going to see? And I almost said Bruno. And then I was like, but he's dead. And then my mind went, you know who else is dead is Bruce Lee. So,
whoa. So that's what. That's awesome, though. Synchronicity right there. So, so I'll see you, man. And Bill after, too. I get the chance to probably interview a couple of them, so I'll ask them about you. See what they say.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
All right. Good show, everybody.
A lot of ground. We covered a lot of ground today.
We did, didn't we? Thanks so much to Sandman and Hack being here. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun. I was laughing so hard. And so Kyle said this was the best one yet. So
awesome. Love the feedback. That's why we do what we do.
That's it, man. That's it. Frankie said I missed a super chat here. Let me see if I can address that before we get to it.
All right. Well, he's looking for that.
Here it is.
Oh.
Perry Saturn talks a lot, but it's interesting. Oh, he suggested Perry Saturn.
Yeah. Wow, that would be an interesting guy to have on the show too.
Thanks. I'm up for anybody.
Yeah, these are all good ideas. So, sometimes I literally feel like talking more than other times, and sometimes that's a factor,
Yeah.
'cause sometimes I'll be like, I want to talk today. I don't want someone that's gonna run. Some of the guys will run with it, and you gotta like break in,
Yeah, you go, hey.
Sometimes that's okay, what depends on how I feel. But I kind of like how we don't necessarily have a pattern as far as that goes. We just sometimes we have a guest and sometimes we don't, and that way it leaves obligations to be non-stressful in that manner, because it's whatever, we don't.
Yeah, I like doing it just us, or I love having a guest on too. It's like it mixes things up and keeps things fresh, and the show is one of a kind.
Yeah. Bobby does get hurt. I think that we don't put in enough time for him, but he's waiting on us to get bored talking about him anyway, so he's going to expect it to fade out. So that's cool, and maybe it will. Somebody in the comments said about his show, because he had the show, and then I posted, "Hey, congratulations on something on killing the business and sticking around and to bathe in its blood." But then but then the thing under it was something Dildo sent. Clearly, when you click on the picture, and somebody was like, "Were you in the crowd, Rob, taking that picture? That's weird. You're stalking." I'm like, "It's from Dildo." I mean, but also somebody else said on there, I'm losing my train of thought. Maybe I should have just let it go. Something about about his show. Somebody said either do something about it or let it go, or something like that, And so I just wanted to say, there's not really a governing body over the world of wrestling. I said, I'm kicking you out of the business, but it's not like back in the day where I could go to the head of the NWA and have him ejected from his seat of the wrestling president of Chillicothe.
Right. You're not going to like fucking Toots Mon or anything like that. You're just
right. What I can do is just continue to bury him and let people know what a horrible person he is. And it may be a long-term kind of thing, could be short-term. But if I'm going to do something about it, then I think that's what I'm doing about it. Just to help you understand. I can't really say, boom, nobody go to his show. Hi, baby. She's saying, yeah, this has been a really long one.
Hasn't it?
I'm about to get the cane around
the
but anyway, whatever I was saying, period.
Yes. Well, been a good show. And well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This was a fun one.
Indeed. Enjoyed it. And thanks for liking it and saying it was the best ever, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, and thanks everybody. Van Dam fam, be blessed. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
See you next time here on One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam. Heck yeah. Shoot.
Yeah.